Welcome to Hayward, California. Ben Ross here alongside Chris Babcock as we're just about set for kickoff. Chabot hosting Diablo Valley tonight in the Bay 6 conference opener. Quickly, Coach, we'll go to you, Chris, with some of your keys for tonight's game.
Well, if I'm DVC, I want to win the turnover ratio. They're minus 10 on the turnover ratio so far, so they need to hold on to the football, and they need to get some chunk yardage plays via the passing game and stop the run. Their defensive line is going to be challenged tonight by Chabot. For Chabot, let their O-line continue to do a good job up front and let Trey make a play. Big-time receiver we'll get more chance to talk about once the game gets going.
All right, well, we are underway. Diablo Valley returning the opening kick, and they'll bring it out just across the 25-yard line. Ball comes out late. Let's see if they're going to rule this as a fumble. It appears they will. Diablo Valley able to get back on it, and so they avoid the early turnover, but they'll be backed up at about the 19-yard line to start things out. That was Matthew Larks on the return for the Vikings.
Yeah, both teams, I guess the key for everybody, if you're on the coaching staff and you're a player, you're coming off a bye week. You're doing some self-scouting. You're doing some things to identify what you need to get better at, and then you start game planning for the opponent. The Bay 6 opener tonight. Great to be here.
Diablo Valley comes in 2-3 on the season. Chabot 4-1. As you mentioned, the Bay 6 conference opener, so this is when it really gets exciting here in college football season. Thinking about going up top on the first play. Instead, it'll be incomplete as Jared Hoyer able to avoid the rush and at least throw the ball away. The officials may be discussing a possible intentional grounding, and now they do throw the flag.
Yeah, there was no one there. It was everybody go deep on Thanksgiving Day type of play to start out the game for Coach Dar and the Vikings.
So a nice pass rush that time from Chabot, and they force the intentional grounding penalty. That's going to back up DVC even farther in their own territory. And, of course, that's a loss of down as well, so it'll be 2nd and long for the Vikings. And, Chris, if you're DVC, how important do you think it is to get off to a good start here? We've seen Chabot's offense this year just be so explosive.
Most certainly, and you want to put together some drives, try to own that time of possession, so to speak, and put together some first downs. And you're going to see different looks coming from Chabot tonight, though. And go to a lot of their 4-man front, but then they'll also go to a 3-man front where they'll go and bring in some more athletic kids and run their nickel defense. And their defensive coordinator, Jerome Mano, spent some time with us on the phone this week and sharing some things. It looks like they're trying to decide the difference on the penalty.
Now right. I've never been good at math, so don't ask me.
Okay, all right. Come on. I'm Chico State. There's no battle in math here tonight, folks.
They've got it spotted. It'll be 2nd down and 14. They're spotting it at the 15-yard line. Hoyer out of the shotgun will hand it off. A little bit of running room for Rayshon Alexander, and he'll get it past the original line of scrimmage across the 20-yard line.
Alexander and Ray Jackson combined for over 300 yards last week against Delta. And they'd like to repeat that because Chabot, you had mentioned, they're very good scoring, but they also run the you-know-what out of the football. So those are big factors. And a player we were interested in talking about played for me over at Monte Vista, Zane Cribb. He's lined up in the slot, getting his first start after getting started late, coming over from Sac State.
3rd and 8, pass incomplete through the hands of Joseph Cedillo, and that'll bring up 4th down. So a good start for the Chabot defense as they force the punt from DVC. And now we'll get our first look at the Gladiators' high-powered offense.
Yeah, Coach Dan Calcogno, who was a head coach here for a long time. I've known Dan for a long time. He also coached and played over at San Leandro. He says, I had all these 2 weeks in as a coordinator to want put in place, but he also knows what kind of DVC defense they play. They're in your face. They're all over you. So he wanted to make sure they were true to their offense.
We have a fair catch called for and taken at the 46-yard line by DeJuan Johnson, and that is where the Gladiators will go to work for their first possession of the game. Well, Chris, when you look at this Chabot offense, you got to start with the talented dual-threat quarterback in Chase Akaka. He's been off to a terrific start, the freshman from Maui, Hawaii, and he's really done it with his legs and the arm.
Yeah, if you pull up your defensive coordinator, you're just looking at stats before you even start looking into film, and you see that the quarterback not only leads them in passing, obviously, but also leads them in rushing. So that's a dual threat defined.
Absolutely, and they will go from the pistol here. First play of the game, man in motion. They'll hand it off up the middle. Pretty good pursuit there from the DVC defense and a gain of 2 yards on the play for Ponove Veimau.
And it's amoeba-style early defense, what they're showing. They're guys standing up, not really showing what they're going to do, but then Chabot will hurry up the tempo. We're not going to get you many replays tonight, folks.
Yeah, not a whole lot of time wasted here for the Chabot offense. They like to get it and go. This time Akaka will pull it. He's got running room. Down the sideline, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, dives for the pylon. Touchdown, Chabot. Just like that.
52 yards, and we talked about it just a couple of plays ago of that dual threat. And when you're a dual threat quarterback and you're good with the ball fakes, as I was faked out, I was watching the background up the center of the field.
You weren't alone. I think a good fake fooled a lot of people on the play, and that gave Akaka a lot of running room.
And when you have a good offensive line that's going to open those holes, then it just frees some opportunities and hits the 52-yarder early.
Alejandro Cervantes will attempt the extra point. He knocks it through, and the Gladiators jump out to an early 7-0 lead with 13-14 to go here in the opening quarter from Gladiator Stadium. You're watching Chabot College football on NorCal Sports TV.
Well, Coach Cogno kept to his word. I said, "You can come out and run the football. We want to watch that offensive line work." And, he said, "We are. I'm going to run
Sure
at least
did.
the first 3 plays," and Dan was true to his word.
And it only took them 2 plays, and they took it to the house just like that. So
Yeah.
a quick glimpse of Akaka. Well, you talk about Chabot. They're averaging better than 450 yards per game so far this season, 221 on the ground. So you know that they can run the ball pretty well.
And here's a scary statistic, another one, a defensive coordinator. They're almost 50% on third down conversions.
Man, that's terrific. I feel like usually teams happy above 35%, maybe 40%.
Yes.
When you're up around 50, you're doing a heck of a job. All right, another kick return for the Vikings as Matthew Larks will take it back out to about the 20-yard line before he's stopped. And we have a Chabot Gladiator down on the field.
You're watching Chabot College football on NorCal Sports TV.
Do you need an aggressive and persuasive criminal defense attorney in Contra Costa, Solano, or Napa County? Contact Vincent R. Maher, attorney at law. You can benefit from the dedicated advocacy of an attorney who is one of the rare criminal trial lawyers in the state to be a specialist certified by the California State Bar. Contact him at 707-427-2800. 707-427-2800.
Back and we're back.
All right, welcome back, folks, here to Gladiator Stadium. Ben Ross along with Chris Babcock. Chabot leading DVC 7-0 here in the first quarter.
And, Ben, we got some scores of some other games, other openers in the Basics Conference. Laney went over to City College of San Francisco. And this doesn't happen much, but Laney got the win 42-21.
Yeah, big win today for Laney.
And then CSM, after losing to Modesto JC before the bye, got the win 41-9.
Well, still in an injury timeout here, and they're bringing the card out, which obviously you don't want to see. Unable to get a number so far on who that is for Chabot on the kick coverage team, who's down just over there by the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Fonani before the game, he said we're pretty healthy coming in where they are with the bye week, and you don't like to see injuries, and especially when he's got to get assisted too. But
good to see him on his feet.
Yeah.
So he is at least able to kind of hop over there to the cart, which is nice to see. And we'll see if we can pick up a number. Thought I might have seen 25 there, which would be William Carter, freshman linebacker from San Lorenzo. So we are ready to go here. 1st and 10 for Diablo Valley as they look to answer the early touchdown from Chabot. And they'll go from the shotgun formation. Jared Hoyer with 4 receivers. Now they'll send a man in motion, and they hand to him the end around. Coming to the near side across the 25 up to the 27. Ray Jackson, a nice gain on 1st down.
Had a big game against Delta, and him and Alexander will get a lot of carries tonight. And like we said earlier in the game, they've combined for over 300 yards in their last game against Delta. Jackson out of Clayton Valley High School. Nice gain on 1st down, which always puts you in a play-pass situation and keep the defense honest.
So now 2nd and 2 from the 28-yard line. Jackson in motion. They'll hand it off this time to Rayshawn Alexander. He gets spun around, keeps the legs churning, and gets close to the line, a little bit short. It'll be 3rd and 1.
And you saw Jackson going in motion. They will throw the football to him out of the backfield. So he had over 200 yards of combined offense last week. So he is a capable receiver. So gives another layer for that defensive coordinator, Coach Manos, to prepare for coming into the game.
And on the ground, it is a solid 1-2 combination. Alexander came in with 390 yards on the ground. Jackson with 362. 3rd and 1 up the middle.
Same play.
And that'll be a 1st down as Alexander punches it across the 30 up to the 33-yard line, and they'll move the chains.
Same play, and one of their best offensive linemen for DVC is number 58, Robin Vanderland. He is out of Miramonte High School, was 210 pounds when he graduated as a senior, and he's put the work in and getting recruited, and there's actually some coaches here tonight that are looking at him.
So 1st and 10 for the Gladiators. Again, from the gun, it'll be Hoyer taking the snap, back to pass, throws it over the middle and incomplete.
Zane Cribb out of Monte Vista High School with the motion, and the little post route was open, and just Hoyer was off target.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. And as you mentioned earlier, Chris, for this offensive DVC, you definitely want to spend some time on the field, get some drives going just to keep the Gladiators' offense off the field.
Most certainly. And they have attempted to throw the ball on 1st down to get some big chunk plays, but are 0 for 2 so far.
They're going to spread it out here. 5 wide receivers, Hoyer in the gun. And he'll take the snap. Quick throw to the right side. Incomplete behind the intended receiver, which I believe was Cribb once again. And it'll be 3rd and 10.
Good job by the Chabot defense, and there you'll see some substitutions, and now they're going to go to their three-man front and go to their nickel coverage. And you'll see at the top of your screen, number 6, the cornerback, Darrell Wells. He is a good player, good cornerback. Darrell Wells, thank you.
So 3rd and 10 as DVC looks to keep this drive alive. Under pressure, Hoyer is taken down for the sack. It's Ethan Owens bursting through to notch the sack for the Gladiators.
And it's no secret. He showed early. So as the quarterback, you got to know that's coming. And he made a nice play, came right off the edge and putting pressure on, and another stop. And when Chabot gets this ball back, they're going to be in great field position.
So for Owens, his first sack of the season, and it forces the punt for DVC. It's a high kick, pushing Johnson back to about the 40. Signals for the fair catch, kind of bobbled it, but was able to hold on at his own 40-yard line. And that's where Chabot will take over.
Well, I think we're going to see much of the same we did on the first series, which only lasted 2 plays. But
quick strike.
Yeah, and a player that flashes out statistically is number 10, Trevion Azine. According to Stevie Johnson, who played here and went to Kentucky and played in the NFL, if you need a play, get it to Trey.
Yeah, I like it. And Azine, he's been very good this year. He actually leads the conference with his 7 touchdown catches. That's tied for 2nd in the state, so he is off to a great start. Looks like they're backing it up to the 30-yard line, which would
special teams
signify
penalty, shock of the week. So consistent at every level of football, not just junior college.
So Chabot will go to work at their own 30-yard line, their second drive. As you mentioned, their first one didn't last long, just 2 plays before Akaka took it to the end zone.
And there's that amoeba look. Everybody's shifting around, and then they'll find their spot.
And they'll hand it off up the middle to Veimau. Carries a couple of defenders out close to the 40-yard line. And close to a first down. They'll spot it right at the 40, which should be enough to move the chains. And it's a first down.
Inside run, and you got to like how Chabot's running backs carry the football.
They'll go right back to Veimau as he pushes the pile to the 45, maybe the 46. And so another solid gain on first down. That should bring up 2nd and about 5.
And I hope I get the enunciations correct. We'll get them after this play. I got to hurry up. Can't hesitate.
No time to mess around with Chabot on offense. This time Akaka rolls right, has a receiver, but in and out of the hands of Jared Phillips.
And he's much like a glorified lineman, trying to throw him a bone, and ran first, catch second. Offensive line, Alex Osibin, William Profalis, Zachary Brown, Chris Bustos, Sione Hilfoka. They play well together. The game I watched on film, very physical up front.
And you can tell just from the way that this team can run the ball, that all starts up front with the offensive line. So it'll be 3rd and 5.
And you can't ever accuse me of not giving the offensive line some love.
Snap to Akaka, throwing right, has a receiver open across the 50 as DeJuan Johnson hauls it in, and it should be enough for a first down. So, Chris, you talked about that 3rd down conversion rate, almost 50%. They move the chains again.
And, I mean, Captain Obvious is because they're always in a 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 5, so right. It makes them easy to convert those.
DVC showing pressure, might have jumped offside. Free play as they're going deep down the sideline. A little too far for Khalil Robertson. But that should be an offside penalty going against the Vikings.
And he has 12 receptions, 3 of those for touchdowns. So Robinson's a good big playmaker for them as well. So when you have a guy that has 7 touchdowns, another guy's got 3 or 4, and other guys, you got to defend all those guys. Plus, you've got one of the top rushing teams in the state. So those things make life as a quarterback and an offensive coordinator much, much easier, less stressful.
1st and 5 for the Gladiators. Hand off to Vaymau up the middle, and he is close to another first down. I think he has it inside the 40-yard line. So move the chains once again, and you can see why the Chabot offense is so good. They can run the ball, they can throw it. You never really know who's going to end up with it. And, oh, yeah, they go up-tempo as well.
Yeah, backs finishing with the forward lane.
From the pistol, Akaka keeps it himself running left, and he'll gain about 5 yards inside the 35, give him 6, as they'll mark him at the 34-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Great ball fake, and instead of keeping outside, planted a foot to ground, took a little bit of a hit, but still picked up 5 to 6 yards. Great play-calling situation for Coach Cagno.
Akaka has thrown for 13 touchdowns already this year, as there's movement this time on the line of scrimmage and a false start. But Akaka with 13 touchdown passes and now 5 TD runs from the quarterback position compared to just 4 interceptions. So
that's just positive. You've had 18. You're responsible for 18 touchdowns.
Exactly.
That's a great stat going into conference.
The freshman from Hawaii has done the job so far this year. Rolling right, running out of time, throws it down the field, and it's caught inside the 5-yard line. Robertson making the catch.
I love how Akaka rolls out. He's looking to throw the football. He's waiting for the receiver to get open, and now they go up-tempo. They substitute, so the official's not going to let them just snap the ball in the actual wool. Time for a quick replay. Just kidding. They're huddling. Just kidding, Jason.
But it was a great play. You know, Akaka rolling right. It looked for a second like there was going to be a defender there with a chance to make the interception, but great touch. Akaka gets it over his head and right into the arms of Robertson. 1st and goal, Gladiators. Handoff up the middle. Vaymau fighting for the end zone. And he's in for the touchdown. So 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for Chabot. For Vaymau, that will be his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season.
Long drive of 2 minutes and 37 seconds.
Yeah, really worked the clock on that one. Cervantes will come out to try and knock through his 2nd extra point of the game. And he does. So with 7:26 to go in the first quarter, 14-0, Chabot on top. Take another look here at this throw from Akaka, rolling right and somehow avoiding the pressure. Gets a lot on that throw, and Robertson got behind the defense.
Yeah, you can't let somebody get behind you, especially when you have that portion of the football field, and there's 3 other teammates in front of you, yet there's no offensive player threatening any of those 3 guys. So when you don't do your job, you try to do somebody else's job, that's a result, and they hit Robinson, and then they get into the big ugly formation and get the touchdown.
So 2 more rushing touchdowns tonight for this Gladiators offense. And for DVC, this will be an important drive to try and stop the bleeding a little bit. 14-0 Chabot early on. Kickoff will be returned by Matthew Larks. Larks tackled just shy of the 20-yard line. Nice coverage once again by the Gladiators. And it'll be 1st and 10 from there.
Not a lot of blocking by DVC, and a lot of guys from DVC pushing up the field. A lot of guys for Chabot pushing up the field to make a play. And number 46 from DVC is down on the field.
That would be Khalil Rubin, defensive back from Pinole.
You're watching Chabot College Football on NorCal Sports TV.
Parma Deli in Concord is the place to go for a great custom-made sandwich. Check out their great reviews on Yelp and Facebook. Parma Deli just celebrated its 30th anniversary. Parma Deli caters for all occasions, graduations, office meetings, weddings, funerals, and parties for any kind. Please give them a call. Our crew love the great sandwiches tonight. Mary and her boys always take care of us. So when planning your perfect day, look no further than Parma Deli. Food lovers beware. You're in for a tasty surprise.
All right, we're back here. 1st and 10 for DVC. Trailing 14-0. Hoyer will go from the shotgun. Takes the snap. Play action fake. Throw over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Roman Sahagan. And he's their leading receiver this year, but unable to connect. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I think Hoyer thought he was going to run one route. The receiver thought he ran another, so there wasn't much timing there. And DVC will also play another quarterback, Joe Wood, out of Las Lomas.
Yeah, Joe Wood has attempted 28 passes himself this year, 14 for 28 for 197 yards and a touchdown. Hoyer from the gun. He'll pitch it to the right. Alexander spinning out of the first tackle, but can't get out of another. Nice pursuit by the Chabot defense, and it'll be 3rd and long.
Well, the offensive lineman pulled around, but he didn't block anybody, and they ran the play right into the teeth of the Gladiator defense and lose a yard. Now it's 3rd and 11, and you'll see the nickel defense come in. A lot of defensive backs and athletes on the field right now for Chabot.
4 wide receivers for the Vikings. Alexander in the backfield alongside Hoyer. Takes the snap out of the gun. Looks right, throws complete, and it'll be a 1st down across the 30-yard line. Big 3rd down conversion for the Vikings to move the chains and keep possession.
It's just a 1st down, but it's a big 1st down. You're getting a 1st down via throwing the football. Get yourself a little bit more room, and it's almost a situation the way that they're playing defense, that being DVC. You got to put some points up sooner than later.
Hoyer came into the season completing just under 50% of his passes, 6 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line, we'll say. Hoyer hands off to Alexander, trying to get the corner, but he'll be stopped after a gain of about 3 up to the 35-yard line, brings up 2nd and 7.
And a simple run, but I liked he appeared to look like he was going to try to get to the outside. He knew that the Chabot defense had leverage against him, and instead of getting a 1-yard gain, he planted his foot in the ground and dropped his shoulder and at least got 3 or 4 to help the offense get in a better situation.
Absolutely. Important, as you mentioned, to stay on schedule offensively, and 2nd and 7 is a whole lot better than 2nd and 10.
Most certainly.
So 2nd down now. Hoyer takes the snap, drops back, set up a little screen pass to Alexander. He's across the 40, and he should have another 1st down up around the 44-yard line.
I like the play design because it appeared they were going to run a receiver screen on the right side with the motion with Cribb, but then they come back, hit the running back, and they're moving the chains, and a second 1st down for the Vikings. Getting a chance to give their defense to make some adjustments and put some points on the board. Showing a lot more shifting and motion in this drive.
Yeah, an interesting formation here now. You got twin wide receivers to both sides stacked vertically. Hoyer looks left, throws left, and in and out of the hands of Daraja McDonald.
And that's a second drop ball, and that is basically Amazon UPS delivered, non-sponsors, by the way. You catch the football, you got a 1st down, you're trying – a couple of times they've dropped the football. They're just trying to do too much. Make the catch, go out of bounds, move the chains. Guys trying to do too much coming off a bye week. Keep things simple.
4:47 to go in the opening quarter. 2nd and 10 for DVC, trying to cut into this 14-0 deficit. Hoyer back to pass once again, going up top, but too deep for everybody. Intended receiver on the play was Roman Sahagan.
Yeah, and DVC or Chabot's manning up, and they're getting physical, so they're not allowing the 7-on-7, free release up the field. They're challenging these wide receivers, and although they haven't got to the quarterback on this particular drive, they've got pressure. So Hoyer has felt that already. He's going to get rid of the football, and that play was nowhere near the wide receiver.
So Hagan does average 77 receiving yards per game with a couple of touchdown catches this year. He is the Vikings' leading wideout. 3rd and 10. And Hoyer steps up. He's just going to run out of bounds. Well shy of the first down. Gains about 2 or 3 on the play, but it'll be 4th and long for the Vikings.
And that is the second time that Ethan Owens has come off the edge. And the first time he got a sack. That time he affected the play. Doesn't get the sack, but they pick up a 3-yard gain. He's going to raise his fists up in the air. They're off the field. It's 4th down. Well done by him. Anytime you want to get sacks, but if you can hurry a quarterback and get him off the spot, you've done your job.
Exactly, and as you said, that doesn't necessarily show up in the stats,
right.
But it gets the defense off the field as DVC has to punt once again. So they'll be punting from their own 47-yard line and
their people,
a timeout.
They're short. They're people short.
So they have to burn a timeout. That's their first of the half.
I mean, literally the right side of their of their punt team is laid on Vikings Airlines. They must be caught up at security or something.
Better to burn the timeout there than snap the ball without your protection, because that could be disastrous otherwise.
Most certainly. So we had mentioned, if you're just joining us, other scores in the Base 6 opener. Laney went over to City College of San Francisco and won 42-21, and CSM rallied after losing to Modesto before the bye week. They beat Santa Rosa JC 41-9, and CSM has struggled so far this year throwing the football, but their offense and defensive lines are pretty good.
So now they've got their proper punt protection out there, and they do get the kick away. A little contact with the punter, but no flag thrown, and the fair catch taken and fallen on by DeJuan Johnson at the 15-yard line.
Well, at a minimum, they put together some first downs. They did have a drop pass, which would have been another first down. So there were some things they built off. But if you can't hold this Chabot team every time you punt the ball, you're losing 7 points. So it's important for them to get a stop. And at least they were forcing Chabot to drive nearly the length of the field, 85 yards.
Yeah, you're right. If nothing else, they do back them up a little bit. So maybe an opportunity here for the defense, pinning Chabot at the 15-yard line. We'll see what the Gladiators have in store. They'll go from the pistol. Akaka hands off to Veimau up the middle, and he breaks a couple tackles, gets it close to the 25-yard line, and close to a first down.
So anytime you see that motion, that's a fly sweep. That's the cheese for your defense to bite off. And even if you move over a little bit, then you're leaving your gap, and then they're going to run right behind it, or they'll run it outside here.
And that's exactly what they do this time. Nice cutback, room to run for Johnson up to the 50, and he's taken down there, but a big gain for DeJuan Johnson.
And I doubt we have time for the replay, but a great block in space with Vaimu. I mean, just leading that play, making a nice block in space with the chop and cutting his the defender, and big gain, and they've already flipped the field.
Johnson, the 5'8" wideout out of St. Petersburg, Florida. He's a sophomore. He's their leading receiver, but as you see there, he can run the ball. This time they're going to fake the handoff to him. Give it to Veimau, and he's got room to run. 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Chabot. 50 yards for Veimau, and it's 20-0.
1 minute.
They certainly strike quickly, don't they?
And they've run 4 plays. I mean, literally. I mean, they run the inside run, they have the flight sweep, and they've run the bootleg and the sprint out. I mean, they've run 4 plays, and they've run the inside run about 4 times. So they're not they're just keeping things simple, and their offensive line doing a great job of blocking up front.
That's the fourth touchdown run of the year for Veimau, his second of the game. And the extra point from Cervantes makes it 21-0 in favor of Chabot with 2:56 to go in the opening quarter.
And watch the big boys work up front. See, they're just a hat on a hat there.
And for Weymouth, he's just untouched into the end zone. And again, that's
flag football.
As you say, that's terrific work by the big boys up front.
Yeah, they work well together, and when you have that cohesiveness, when you're blocking a guy, and then you're responsible for the guy that comes off, and then it's just an orchestra working together, and they're off to another great start.
So 3 possessions and 3 touchdowns for Chabot. Larks fielding the kickoff. Has a little bit of a seam across the 30. Gets taken down at the 33. But this will be the best starting field position of the night for DVC.
And DVC has come out and thrown the ball a couple of times deep on first down and haven't been able to hit those. And then they've had some couple of drop balls that have stopped and stalled drives. So I might want to see the Alexander Jackson show on this particular drive. And again, we keep saying it, slow down the burning house right now.
Hoyer will go from the pistol. Hands off. And some running room to the outside, close to midfield. That was Ray Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he had room, and he took advantage for the first down.
Loved how he bounced it outside, plants a foot, get north and south.
But we do have a flag, it looks like.
And it's coming back.
Just like that. So it was a nice gain. Unfortunately, coming back on the holding call, and it'll now be first and very long for DVC.
And more than likely that's away from the play, but that's a back block. And then those are key blocks, and DVC is going to play behind the chains. And when they do that, you're going to get this pass rushed all fired up of Chabot.
So they're going to spot this at the 20-yard line, which is going to make it first and 23.
And, we were talking about Dario Wells. I mean, he presses or he'll play 5 yards off. He's going to eliminate one of your wide receivers. So you're going to have to get contributions from other guys.
Handoff this time to Alexander. Little room to the right side. Launches himself toward the sideline, and he'll get up to the 26.
And number 6, Darren Wells, we just talked about him. He's in coverage. But then you watch him flash through your screen and coming up and making a tackle. Last week, first play of scrimmage, did the same thing and caused a fumble. So, he's a cover corner, yeah, but he's also he's not shy to get involved in the running game.
So they'll call this 2nd and 17 from the 26-yard line.
So now they're in that 4-man front with one of the defensive ends standing up, and he's coming.
Hoyer throws underneath, and a good tackle there up at the 30-yard line as a swarm of gladiators come in to take down Joseph Cedillo.
And that's a great sign. Okay, you make some mistakes, guy caught the ball, whatever. You want to see guys run into the football. And Chabot runs to the ball, watching them on film. They weren't perfect. They got to get better. The coaches know that. But, boy, when you have effort, that's a great baseline to deal with as far as being a coach, because that means you guys are buying into the system, they're getting it, and they're running the football, and they're not thinking, they're reacting, which is the way you want to play this game.
3rd and 12 for the Vikings. Hoyer with 4 wide receivers. Low snap, drop for a second. He picks up, throws left. And on the near sideline, will they give him the catch? Yes, they will, but short of the first down, just across the 40-yard line. It should be about 4th and 1, depending where they spot this.
And the play, one of the offensive linemen for Chabot is out of the game, so now you're going to go for it, which I would, but with a fresh offensive line. But then Coach Darr is going to send in his punting unit.
Man, got to be tempting to go for it here on 4th and 1. Even though you're in your own territory, Coach, you haven't really been able to stop Chabot's offense. It would be nice to keep this thing going.
But I think having one of your better linemen off the field because his helmet got removed probably makes that decision a little bit easier.
That's true.
And then they have to waste another timeout.
As they try and run someone else on the field. So some problems in the punt protection again.
It's the second time. And so now you don't have you have one timeout left. Having to burn it in those situations, And that's, guys, simple as this, and it's the Woody Allen rule. 80% of success is showing up.
Yep.
But if you're not showing up, then you're not paying attention, and these are little things, and then those are the things that are frustrating as a coach. Because they have 11 guys, they practice it and go over it, and then just guys fall asleep.
So now just 12 seconds left in the first quarter here. 4th and 1 as DVC is at least in punt formation. See if they elect to do anything tricky here.
And you get 4 possessions in a quarter. That's dangerous.
That is quite a few. Well, that one was not the best effort, as it's going to be marked out of bounds up across the 40 and at the 42-yard line. So it ends up being just a 16-yard punt.
Yeah. And then it might be time to say, let Trey make a play.
Well, 5 seconds left here in the quarter, so there will be one more play that Chabot runs before they flip ends of the field. Chabot so far 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns, all coming on the ground. Their offensive line has just done a terrific job, and DVC has not been able to slow down the rushing attack. Here's Akaka taking the snap, and he'll hand it off up the middle to Weymouth. Across the 45 to the 46-yard line. That'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Your score, Chabot 21, DVC nothing. You're watching Chabot College Football on NorCal Sports TV.
Meeting Rooms on Demand, a unique alternative to hotel conference rooms. With rates as low as $50 an hour and seating capacity up to 50, we provide unprecedented value for small businesses. Locations in the Bay Area, Fresno, and Las Vegas, and coming soon to Phoenix. Reach us at meetingroomsondemand.com and tell them you saw this ad on NorCal Sports TV for a 50% discount off your first rental. Great rates and value. Meeting Rooms on Demand. Meeting Rooms on Demand, a unique alternative to hotel conference rooms. With rates as low as $50 an hour and seating capacity up to 50, we provide unprecedented value for small businesses. Locations in the Bay Area, Fresno, and Las Vegas, and coming soon to Phoenix. Reach us at
Come out of it.
All right, we're back here at Gladiator Stadium. Second quarter just about set to get underway. Ben Ross alongside Chris Babcock. Chabot leads Diablo Valley College 21-0 as we head to the second.
And they're in great field position again. And as we mentioned, they're running a little inside run. They haven't run a lot of plays, but when they've run, they've been very successful with, and have executed them very well.
They sure have. Well, Chabot came into play tonight averaging 451 yards per game, 221 of them coming on the ground. They averaged 34 points a game, which they certainly might get past tonight based on the way they started the first quarter.
And when they get in the red zone, they're scoring touchdowns at a 71% rate. That's 4th in the state. That's being very effective down there. They're scoring, but they're scoring touchdowns more than field goals.
Yep, that's important. Once you get down there, you want to cash in
free
with
play.
7. Another free play, and they're going up top, just out of the reach of the intended receiver, but it'll be an offsides penalty once again.
Yeah, and the receiver ran out of bounds, so wouldn't have mattered. But I like the tenacity of hey, let's take a shot here, not only with the play call, but when you have somebody jump off sides.
So that'll make it about 2nd and 1 after the 5-yard penalty is marked off.
And something that I've noticed that he's not in uniform tonight is Trey isn't going to be making any plays tonight. He's down on the sidelines in the sweats. So Azin's not playing tonight.
2nd and 1 handoff goes to Weymouth. He gets across the line to gain, then pushed back, but his forward progress will be marked down at the 46-yard line and a first down for Chabot. So you're right, no Azin tonight for the Gladiators. Haven't needed him on the offensive side yet. They've been so effective running the ball. And a couple of big throws from Akaka, as well as his own 52-yard touchdown run to start things off.
Throw him off again.
Another offsides potentially. They're going up top, trying to take advantage of the free play, but the throw from Akaka again out of bounds. But offsides will mark off 5 more yards. So that's the third one they've got tonight.
And so often quarterbacks are judged by the statistics, but then there's the little things that they do, the ball handling, drawing guys off sides, those type of things. And you can see he's drawn off the defense twice in the same drive. So the voice inflection is strong. It's 1st and 5.
So the 1st and 5 snap to Akaka. He's going deep again down the left side towards Johnson.
That's a nice catch.
And he pulls it in. What a play at the 11-yard line.
Pretty good coverage that time, but you got to credit the combination there and getting inside the red zone. Just a simple 9 route going right up the field.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line after the big play. Akaka fakes the handoff, keeps it himself inside the 10 and down to the 9.
That's tough sledding down there as a quarterback. You're looking to run outside, and then you cut upfield, and here's a scraping linebacker just waiting to meet you. Those are the ones you feel the next day.
Akaka went to Baldwin High School on Maui. 3 sports star there, football, basketball, and baseball. He was all league in all 3. You can see the athleticism for sure. And he'll take the snap, this time looking to pass. Flushed out of the pocket, rolling right,
Good
and
defense.
he'll just throw it away.
And I liked how DVC rushed that time. They're aware of Kaka's ability to flush out of the pocket, so they rush him on the high side. So they keep him contained and don't allow him to get along the edge. So that was a good job of some red zone defense. And is this 4 carries for 172 yards in the first quarter? That's their offense. Holy cow.
That is a lot of offense and on the ground as well. So it'll be 3rd and 9 from the 10-yard line. Akaka takes the snap, looks left, throws towards the back of the end zone, but overthrown and incomplete. We do have a flag down.
Little corner out, double coverage, little hand slapping, but I believe that is going to go against DVC.
Here's the call. Let's take a look. And, yeah, it'll be a defensive holding call against DVC, so a big penalty there. As that's an automatic 1st down, and it'll set up a 1st and goal for Chabot.
In DVC, bad stat for them. They're only averaging 2 yards a rush in the game. 9 carries, 18 yards. That's when the other team's averaging 40 yards a carry, then, you've got problems.
Chabot threatening once again. 1st and goal from the 5. Akaka hands off. Veimau inside the 5. He's short of the goal line, down to about the 3. And that'll bring up 2nd and goal.
And here come the big fellas.
That's right. The substitution's coming in. It's power football time.
And it's time for a huddle.
You don't see that often from this up-tempo Chabot offense, but when they do get down inside the 10-yard line here and just trying to power it in.
Well, I think it also, too, gets everybody, have your identity, and it gets everybody on the team fired up, bringing in the big fellas to block, and every once in a while maybe throw them a bone or just let them block.
Yep. A lot of big boys in there now. Hand off to Veimau up the middle, following his blockers, but he's going to be stopped a little bit short. They're going to mark him again at about the 2 or the 3-yard line. So some nice penetration from the DVC defensive line that time.
Yeah, Raven Naselli had a good game last week. 7 tackles and a sack versus Delta. Took on the blockers and was Chabot a no gain. It's 3rd and 4.
So now interesting to see what they do here. The run and the pass, both options. You've got a dual threat quarterback in Akaka who's under center. Takes the snap, and he'll throw a fade to the left side. More flags are down.
It's pretty good coverage there.
Really tough to defend there. Looked like there was definitely contact, but maybe going both ways. But I think this call will again be against DVC.
You got the wide receiver out there, Gary Harris, that's got a definite height advantage, and the defenders going against that. Thought he had pretty good coverage, but you trust the officials making the call. So it'll be first down. They get a new set of downs.
So that one certainly hurts for the Vikings as 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. That's the second first down via penalty on this drive. And now Weymouth dances inside the 2, but stops short again at the goal line.
And this isn't a pretty formation. There's no line splits. It's foot to foot. Blocking, I'm coming at you, wedge blocking, stop us. And DVC has done a good job. They forced a 3rd down pass. It's 2nd down here. So defense has been on the field a lot, but they're stepping up here.
Chabot again going to try and power this in. 2nd and goal from the 2. Akaka giving some instructions to his big blockers in front of Weymouth. They'll fake the handoff, rolling left. Akaka buys time, now throws back right, and into the end zone for a touchdown. Wow. What a play as Akaka with his 2nd touchdown of the game, his first throwing one.
He threw the ball from the television numbers all the way across at an angle to the other end of the end zone. And the defender from DVC, who's supposed to be covering that portion of the field, just got himself out of position trying to do somebody else's job, and Akaka took advantage.
And Dimitri Munoz with the touchdown there for Chabot as Cervantes comes on to try his 4th extra point of the game, and he's a perfect 4 for 4, 28-0. Chabot starting to blow this one open with 10:52 to go in the 2nd quarter. As we're going to take another look here at that touchdown, Coach.
I mean, he sprints all the way. He's scrambling here. It's supposed to be a little naked. DVC doesn't bite. But see how long that ball's in the air?
It's a dangerous throw for sure.
It is a very dangerous throw, and against a more
up.
athletic, faster guy. We're going, we're going pick 6 Saturday at the horse races.
Yeah, Darrell Walker, the defender there, he had it looked like an opportunity briefly to maybe go and pick that. And, yeah, Coach, if he makes that interception, he's taking it 100 yards the other way. But it does work out for Chabot. Their 4th touchdown on 4 drives as it's 28-0.
And the good thing is, Akaka probably already knows that he got away with one, and it'll probably be something in the film room that he'll bring up before the coaches. He'll go, yeah, I probably shouldn't make that one, because Laney would take that one to the house, or CSM, or City College of San Francisco. Like this basics conference is like a death sentence. There's so many. There are 5 teams in the top 15 in the state in your conference, so you want to get off to a good start, and they're doing that. And next week, Chabot is at Santa Rosa Junior College. Actually, that game will be played at Santa Rosa High School because Bailey Field is getting remodeled. And I think that game's a winnable game for Chabot as well.
So a nice return from Larks will set DVC up 1st and 10 at the 34. Handoff to Alexander, goes for about 3 or 4 yards on 1st down.
But we did have a 4-minute-plus drive on the last possession for Chabot.
How about that?
Yeah.
Gladiators using a
most
little bit
of it
clock.
in their big boy goal line offense.
That's right. So they've done it a few different ways. We saw the quick strike offense in the 1st quarter, and they can definitely score without wasting much time. That time a little bit longer, but it still results in a touchdown. Hoyer's pass is intercepted. Now it's incomplete. It hits the ground. It looked for a moment like the catch was going to be made. And can't see who that is doing
Ethan
push-ups
Owens.
there, but was that Owens?
Yeah. So he
dropped it, so he did some push-ups.
He did some push-ups, and he's been all over the football field tonight. He, that time, didn't have a wide receiver in the flat that was threatening, in which he was responsible for. So he's able to sink back into the zone and do what we call robbing, and it's legal here in football. And he almost came up with the interception. And I love the personality. Hey, let's go and do the push-ups right away.
So it'll be 3rd and 6 for DVC. Hoyer back to pass. Throws left, caught, and a first down. Matthew Larks making the reception and gets out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
Well-timed play by the Vikings. And now that Dario Wells is on our side of the field, I've been kind of isolating on him, and he doesn't let that wide receiver loose. You go against him, you're going to be battling all day long. He's not going to let anybody off him. He's going to be physical, and then he's also going to support in the run.
1st and 10 from the 46. Hoyer takes the snap, throwing deep down the right side. It's up for grabs, tipped and incomplete, intended for Ray Jackson. So the running back getting an opportunity to sprint downfield, but good defensive coverage.
Wells there once again, and they're stacking the receivers to try to get some guys open, and unfortunately the lead receiver slipped and fell, so they basically just had to cover the deep route, and Wells was all over it.
Hoyer's a 6'5", 224-pound sophomore at the quarterback position. He'll hand off to Alexander, who's swarmed after a gain of about 2. So going back to Hoyer, though, good size at 6'5". He's went to Dougherty Valley High School in San Ramon, not far from here. And he's in his 2nd year with DVC.
Well, DVC, not tonight, but this year they've thrown some interceptions. They fumbled the football, and they're -10 in the takeaway turnover ratio. And some of those are deflected balls, and some of those are just bad passes. But their offense has got to gel, but it's tough when you're throwing from your back.
Yeah, that was some good pursuit, and Hoyer just able to get the throwaway, but incomplete, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
And that's essentially a cover sack. Your back edge of your defense is manning up with some people free, so that anybody that breaks loose, you've got safeties to help the corner. So that's not so much a reflection on the offensive line or the quarterback. It's the receivers not getting any separation. But do they have all their guys out for the punt team?
That's been an issue earlier this half. They've had to use a couple of their timeouts this time. They do get the snap and the kick away. Looked like, again, there might have been an opportunity for the ref to throw a flag there. A little contact with the punter, but no call.
Well, he doesn't know that the referee is an acting coach. And so he can tell when there's bad acting, and that's referee Craig Myers. We're always seeing these officials crossing our path doing JC football games.
Well, and that's an all-time great name for the DVC punter as well. Prominence Akubuo Onwumeka.
Better for the Berkeley grad to work on that than the Chico State grad.
So he's, unfortunately for DVC, been quite active tonight. You never like it when your punter is out there a lot. It means the offense isn't doing much, and that's really been the case tonight. And now Chabot will go back to work on their 5th possession of the game. Here's the snap, and the handoff will come on the end around to Chris Washington. Flag is down on the play, and that could be in the area of holding. We'll take a look. The play went for a gain of about 4 as it stands. Officials going to discuss this one. And it looks like they're picking up the flag, so the play will stand. Ball marked at the 22-yard line for a gain of 3. They'll call it 4 officially, and it'll be 2nd and 6. And a fumble on the exchange on the handoff, but it's going to be recovered by Chabot. That could have been the opportunity DVC was looking for. Akaka and Veimau, maybe a little miscommunication on that handoff. But the Gladiators fall on top of it. It will, however, be 3rd and 12.
So they're one time playing behind the chains. And you can see this DVC defense. There's nobody deeper than 11 yards.
Akaka rolls right, throws on the run, and incomplete. It looked like his intended receiver had gone down on the play, and now a flag does come in.
He got rerouted like bad mail, but I believe they're gonna call a penalty.
That was DeJuan Johnson, his intended receiver, and a late flag comes over towards the DVC sideline, so potentially 2 different penalties now on this play. Let's see what they're going to call here. Chabot has benefited from some costly penalties against the DVC defense.
So they've converted 3rd downs via the run, via the pass, and now via the penalty.
That's right. So it looked like they did call a pass interference call, which will give them a 1st down, and then a dead ball sideline interference warning. But Chabot will keep the offense on the field as they move the chains with the penalty. It's a costly one for DVC.
Why was that a 20? Yeah, now they're marching back. And my math isn't that good or that bad.
They were about to put that around the 40.
It was going from a 15-yard penalty to a 26-yard penalty, and
so it'll be a spot foul here, and they'll mark it at the 28-yard line.
So the chains
should move here. Let's see. The officials are going to stop play momentarily, and now they move the chains. And it looks like we have a timeout on the field.
You're watching Chabot College football on NorCal Sports TV.
Do you need an aggressive and persuasive criminal defense attorney in Contra Costa, Solano, or Napa County? Contact Vincent R. Maher, attorney at law. You can benefit from the dedicated advocacy of an attorney who is one of the rare criminal trial lawyers in the state to be a specialist certified by the California State Bar. Contact him at 707-427-2800. 707-427-2800. Vincent R. Maher at the Maher Law Group, a professional corporation.
And
all right, 7:26 to go in the second quarter. Ben Ross alongside Chris Babcock. Chabot leading Diablo Valley 28-0. And it was Chabot that called the timeout. That was their first of the half. DVC, I should say, has used 2 in the opening quarter of the game. It'll be a 1st and 10 after the penalty for the Gladiators as they look to stay perfect on offense. This is their 5th drive of the game. The first 4 have all resulted in touchdowns.
DVC's in your face. They don't have a deep safety. And that's so tempting as an offensive coordinator to go and take a shot.
They'll go from the pistol, man in motion, and Akaka takes the snap. He's going to give it a shot up top, looking for Robertson, but overthrown just a tad, and it'll be incomplete.
You know how Danny's going to look at things and make a call there. They're not playing with a deep safety, and you've got some capable wide receivers. Yeah, you're going to run the football, but you also need to take your shots. You got to keep the defense honest.
2nd and 10 for Chabot. 7:20 to go in the second quarter. The Gladiators up 28-0. Snap taken by Akaka, fakes the handoff, and he's got room to the outside. dances his way across the 35 and up to the 36, a little bit short of the first down. We'll give him a gain of 8 on the play, which will bring up a 3rd and 2.
Aloha Leai blocking out in space was the lone blocker, and those are easy ones for the officials to call. The holding penalty was disciplined in keeping his hands inside the shoulders.
Little trap play to Vaymau, and he gets across the 40 for a first down up towards the 43. So the rushing attack continues here for Chabot. And, Coach, you talk about DVC maybe stacking the box a little bit. It's kind of tough right now either way. Whatever they choose, if you want to stop the run, that's one thing. And you mentioned the talented receiver Chabot has. If you don't stop the run, then they're just going to grind you to death on the ground. So it's kind of no man's land for DVC here.
And that's why we were, coming into the game, and the keys we were looking at is DVC stopping the run in a challenge for the D-line because of this offensive line and the scheme that Chabot runs.
Little misdirection, handoff to Vaymau, and he powers up to the 45-yard line. Gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8.
And they'll quickly rotate guys in, get a chance to get some guys some rest, and Chabot will substitute and get a new running back in the game.
2nd and 8 for the Gladiators. Still plenty of time on the play clock, of course, as Chabot likes to go up-tempo with the no huddle.
And it's tough as an offensive lineman to stay there in a three-point stance and not jump, but Chabot is very disciplined about that.
They've done a nice job today. Nice throw by Akaka over the middle. It's caught by Robertson, or check that, Johnson, for the first down.
And he's made a couple of acrobatic catches tonight. Slot receiver, has a lot of athletic ability, a lot of shimmy, a lot of shake, and ran a nice dig route that time.
Handoff this time goes to Osaru Ona, the sophomore out of San Ramon, and he'll take it close to the 40-yard line. Going back to Johnson, though, with Ozine not playing tonight, Johnson actually does lead the team. He had 33 receptions coming into the game, was second with 319 receiving yards. So he's kind of the featured receiver tonight alongside Robertson with Travion Ozine not in action.
He's the chain mover of the wide receiver group. And when you're a slot receiver, you're going to get hit a lot. You'll be tough, and he's shown that ability to make the catch over the middle.
Vaymau on the carry, stood up at the line of scrimmage. Nice penetration by the defensive front from DVC, and it'll bring up 3rd and about 6.
Benjamin Walipa doing a good job forcing the run and coming up and wrapping and gang tackle, and it's a 3rd and 6 situation.
Akaka rolls right, running out of time, throws towards the sideline, out of bounds, incomplete. And that should bring up a 4th down here.
And on that play, it's a sprint out. So these are, the run pat. That was a complete sprint out. It wasn't a run pass option. But my point is, there's 2 offensive linemen for Chabot. You have that 3-yard kind of, but there's 2 of them that are plus 3 yards downfield, and they're not engaged. So, and you're a defender, and he's a big guy. It's obvious maybe not an intended receiver, but in the speed of the moment, you might think you have to guide those guys. So those are the things when you're going to play defense and you've got the success of the run, gives you more things. Bad snap.
Oh, boy, and this could be trouble. Nisbet picks it up, but he has nowhere to go. Ball's still loose, and it's scooped up and taken down at the 30-yard line. So DVC gets a big play, and they needed that, as they will have terrific field position here inside the 30-yard line of Chabot.
Tevamwaga Clemens out of College Park High School, right across the street from DVC, recovers the fumble, and DVC's in business here.
So I was going to say that was Nisbet's first time coming on to punt and it didn't go well for Chabot. Their first drive that doesn't end in a score, and they botched the snap. And so now DVC with an opportunity, although they are pushing this back. So I guess we're going to have a 15-yard penalty going against DVC as they spot it at the 45-yard line.
Well, you can tell it's not your night when something bad happens to the opponent. You recover the fumble, and then you got to go back 15 yards from where you recovered it. Those are the things that dig you into a hole.
So that's likely a personal foul, as it's a 15-yard penalty on the play. Still good field position, though, for DVC in Gladiator territory. They try and set up a screen pass, incomplete, intended for Rayshawn Alexander.
And when you see a screen pass and you're watching it on television or watching this game, when the quarterback throws the ball and there's no opponent's jerseys in his face, that means the defense knows what's coming. So as you're a defensive lineman, you want to sack the quarterback. That's all these defensive coaches are telling you. You don't get blocked. What do? You slow down, you turn back, and you run back to the line of scrimmage and keep your head on a swivel. And that's exactly what Chabot did.
2nd and 10 for DVC. Play action fake. Hoyer throws left, and it's caught by Sahagan for a first down inside the 35-yard line.
Run to the chains, sit in the zone, simple pass and catch that they've had opportunities to complete tonight. Two other times they did. They completed there, and Coach Dar trying to get his team into the end zone.
So the Vikings have moved the ball a little bit at times tonight. They just haven't been able to cash in any of these drives. Let's see if they can here. It's 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Man in motion, play action fake. Now they'll swing it over to the right side. Zane Cribb making the reception and takes it down inside the 30. About a gain of 7 on the play, so it'll bring up 2nd and short.
Nice to see Zane get a chance to contribute at Monte Vista High School. Catches the little bubble screen off the motion and picks up a nice chunk on first down. So that'll stretch the defense. And if you're DVC, you really would like to do here is score and give the ball back to Chabot with as little as time as possible on the rest of the half.
Yep, 2:15 to go here in the second quarter. It'll be 2nd and 3. And the play action fake and throw is swatted away. Great penetration by the defense. And it looked like that was Lando Gray getting a hand on it.
And if you can't get to the quarterback, the next best thing is to get your hand in the passing lane. And that's exactly what happened. Didn't get there, but being an athletic player, get your hands up. Get off your feet. And that was a job well done. That's as good as a sack.
So 3rd and 3, big play coming up here with 2:05 to go in the second quarter. They've got to get it to the 24-yard line to move the chains.
It might have done Hoyer a favor because I think that ball would have been picked off.
Hoyer hands off, and Alexander has the first down and more inside the 25, and they'll spot him at about the 23. So they do pick up the first down. And
I'm sorry, Ben, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, if I'm calling the plays for DVC, Jackson and Alexander are going to touch the ball a lot here. I'm not going to just run it every play. I might be able to throw the ball out of the backfield, but I want to get those guys some touches, get their confidence going, get a little momentum going as they're going into the half, and importantly, get the 7 points.
They'll go from the shotgun this time, 4 wide receivers. Man in motion. They fake the handoff. No, they give the handoff, but not a whole lot of room for Ray Jackson.
And that wasn't a smart play there by DVC.
We're going to have a penalty, it looks like.
Yeah, when you block behind the runner, yeah, you got the oohs and ahs, and you knock the guy on the ground. Block the guy downfield that just made the tackle. And we see that so often at every level of football. And I don't know how to describe it any other way but blocking the guy behind the runner versus the guy in front of him that just made the tackle. And you get the ooh and ah, but that's not how the game, and it's a safety thing too.
Now they're going to pick up the flag, so there is at least no penalty on the play. But as you said, still not much of a gain on the play, if anything.
And that's the thing when I talked to Coach Fanani before the game was those exact plays. And no, that was DVC that did it, but so he's conscious to it because his guys have done it.
Sure. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. Clock moving at 1:15 to go in the half. From the gun, Hoyer rolls left, has time, throws, and tipped, possibly intercepted. Are they going to say he was in bounds?
Penalty on the field, so the quarterback was rough, so they'll get the first down on penalties.
And that's a huge penalty if it is indeed roughing the passer.
And that one did not feel very good.
No, it did not.
I don't know if we have that on the replay, but Hoyer's going to feel that one when he wakes up tomorrow.
So they will mark it off. It's a first down for DVC, and it keeps the drive going.
So they're sprinting left, and he sets his feet to throw the ball to Cribb, and defender takes at least 2 more steps, and that's going to get called every time.
Yep. You got to pull up there. The ball had been released, and as you said, when you get the quarterback late, they're going to throw that flag every time. So it's a first down at the 11-yard line.
So here's that stack formation again. I'd like to see him run a quick screen off this with the lead blocker.
Alexander in the backfield. Hoyer back to pass. Has time. Now he's running out of it. Tries to avoid the rush. Throws toward the back of the end zone. Too tall and incomplete.
It's tough for those plays to you just only have so much field to work in, and the defense is at an advantage. But they're running that stack formation. I like to just see catch the ball, the quarterback out of the snap, and just throw it out and use that blocker ahead. Maybe go away from Wills' side because he's such an accomplished player. But they've got numbers out there if they wanted to go to that.
55 seconds to go in the half. Still plenty of time if they want to run the ball here on 2nd and 10. From the pistol, Hoyer does hand off. Alexander trying to find some room close to the 5-yard line. And it'll be a gain of about 5 on the play to bring up 3rd and 5. Clock running now at 40 seconds.
And I like the play call. And the inside run, plant the foot in the ground, and get south and get a nice gain, and it's going to be 3rd and 4. Now, they can get a first down. They don't have to score a touchdown. But they better hurry up.
Yep, now the clock's still ticking down to 20 seconds. And we have a timeout on the field. They're going to, let's see, it's Chabot calling the timeout on defense. So that's their second of the half. Each team with 1 timeout remaining.
So the Chabot, you don't want to give a chance for the offense to reset. But if you don't have the right defensive call in there, you got to take care of business yourself. So you call the timeout and make sure that everybody's on the same page. But if you don't have that tied in, you don't have that timeout in your pocket, those things are so. And Chabot has managed the game up to this point pretty well.
So 3rd and 5 here. Coach, what do you think? Is this 4-down territory? Are they?
Oh, most certainly.
I mean, I'm thinking down 28-0. You're not going to kick a field goal.
Well, the fact that you have a timeout left, there's 18 seconds. I mean, conceivably, you could still run the ball again.
Right.
But then that's going to, if you don't get the first down, you're going to have to use the timeout.
And then you're pretty much down to just the one play.
Most certainly.
Interesting decision coming up here. This is a big opportunity for DVC to get something on the board before the half. And remember, Chabot gets the ball to start the second half, so they could really use a touchdown here.
And if you don't score, it's like giving up a score because you're getting a little bit of the momentum from the bad snap and the special team mistake. You want to take advantage going into halftime. If you don't, you're really just keeping that momentum and even more on the Chabot side.
All right, here we go, 3rd and 5. And we had a whole lot of movement up front, and now the play is blown dead. It's going to be a false start. And Boy, that hurts coming out of a timeout, too. Backs them up to 3rd and 10.
And they're just going statue liberty left, pitch out, sweep to the left. And linemen, you had a couple of pullers, and then the offensive linemen were inside guys were cut blocking, trying to take advantage of it. The thing is, they're going on first sound, but when you go on first sound, if there's any hesitation at all, that is the result because you're anticipating that snap call.
So now 3rd and 10, 4 receivers for DVC, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Alexander in the backfield with Hoyer, who takes the snap. He'll throw right towards the end zone. Tipped and incomplete. Sahagan almost went up and got it, but it just goes off his fingertips. And now 4th and 10. And decision time for Coach Mike Darr and DVC.
It looks like they're going to bring in the field goal team. But I loved how Wells he's all by himself over there on the sideline, and he uses the sideline as an extra defender, knowing that the wide receiver only has so much room to run, and he's undersized, but he plays much bigger than he is.
So they will attempt the officially 28-yard field goal to get on the board before the half. It's a low kick and wide left, no good, and that one hurts. It'll remain 28-0 for Chabot. So now 6 seconds left in the half, and boy, Chris, as you said it, I mean, not scoring there, it feels like you give up points. You go down the field, you get the great field position, you move the ball, and you're just unable to come away with anything on the scoreboard.
Well, if anybody's familiar with the cartoon character, and I'm aging myself, Gumby, but you can just see the shoulder and the body language of DVC when they miss that field goal. I mean, just everybody's shoulders dropping, heads dropping. Even though it's only 3 points, it makes a big difference going in.
Nice to get something on the
yes.
board. You don't like having that 0 up there, but that will be where it is as Chabot is just going to take a knee and take us to the halftime break. All Chabot in half number 1, 28-0. And stick around. We'll be back with the second half of this one. You're watching Chabot College Football on NorCal Sports TV.
Chabot College Football on NorCal Sports TV is brought to you in part by Vincent R. Maher at the Maher Law Group, a professional corporation covering Contra Costa, Napa, and Solano counties. Parma Delicatessen in Concord. Food lovers beware, you're in for a tasty surprise. Meeting Rooms on Demand, great value and rates in the Bay Area, Fresno, and Las Vegas, and coming soon to Phoenix. American Asphalt, taking care of business in Northern California for 35 years.
All right, we'll do a quick first half recap here before we take you to the break. It was, as we mentioned, all Chabot. They scored on their first 4 drives of the game. Started early with Chase Akaka on a 52-yard touchdown run. That made it 7-0 early in the first quarter. Next drive, Panove Vaimau punching it in from 2 yards out to make it 14-0. That was his 3rd touchdown rush of the season. He didn't waste much time to get his 4th touchdown run of the year. Vaimau from 50 yards out, making it 21-0 in favor of Chabot. And then Akaka capping it off with the 4th touchdown of the game, a 2-yard pass to Munoz, making it 28-0, and that is your score at the break. Gladiators looking to improve to 5-1 on the season. We'll be back with the second half coming up shortly. You're watching Chabot College Football on NorCal Sports TV.
Parma Deli in Concord is the place to go for a great custom-made sandwich. Check out their great reviews on Yelp and Facebook. Parma Deli just celebrated its 30th anniversary. Parma Deli caters for all occasions, graduations, office meetings, weddings, funerals, and parties for any kind. Please give them a call. Our crew love the great sandwiches tonight. Mary and her boys always take care of us. So when planning your perfect day, look no further than Parma Deli. Food lovers beware. You're in for a tasty surprise. Meeting Rooms on Demand, a unique alternative to hotel conference rooms with rates as low as $50 an hour and seating capacity up to 50. We provide unprecedented value for small businesses. Locations in the Bay Area, Fresno, and Las Vegas, and coming soon to Phoenix. Reach us at meetingroomsondemand.com and tell them you saw this ad on NorCal Sports TV for a 50% discount off your first rental. Great rates and value. Meeting Rooms on Demand.
All right, folks, welcome back to Gladiator Stadium in Hayward. Ben Ross and Chris Babcock with you here. Chabot leading DVC 28-0 as we're set for the second half. Coach, a quick look at some of these stats, and as you might expect, pretty much dominated by Chabot. The total yards, 266 to 95 on the ground, 182 for Chabot, just 32 rushing yards for DVC. They really controlled the line of scrimmage.
And you got big play backs that got over 300 yards rushing last week for DVC, 14 carries, 32 yards for them. So not much production. And, of course, Chabot working their magic, 2 of 3 on third down, 266 yards of total offense, 3 penalties to DVC's 9 penalties.
And that was a big difference because a lot of those penalties ended up resulting in first downs and keeping drives alive for Chabot. All right, second half underway. It'll be Chabot receiving this second half kick. And DeJuan Johnson trying to get to the outside, but really unable to make much progress. He'll get across the 15, maybe the 17-yard line before he's chased out of bounds.
Good kick coverage, and when you want to see your coverage field guys come down, you want to see them starting to settle down and get their weight underneath them right around the 20-yard line. Chabot was trying to set up a wall going towards their bench, which is typical in football. But you got a lot of white jerseys there waiting to take on those blockers, not running past them and out of control, settling down and making the tackle. But when you're talking about penalties, you remember when they got the turnover, DVC got the turnover, they had a penalty on that play that moved back 15 yards. So that was the most costly of them all.
Chabot ready to go to work here in half number 2. They scored 4 touchdowns on their 5 first-half drives. And Akaka will hand it off on the first play to Vaymau. Good job by the defense that time. They stop him in the backfield. Looks like he loses maybe 1 or 2 yards on the play. So if you're DVC now, you got to figure you've got to stop the run, even if it means maybe cheating some guys up. I know that you don't want to get beat deep, but at some point you got to stop the run.
And they did a better job in the last couple of drives, and we got another penalty, but they did a better job, DVC did defensively, is controlling Chabot. And at least on their last scoring drive, they forced them to go the length of the field, didn't give up many big plays. So those are the kind of minor victories that you hold on as a coach. And now Chabot will be playing behind the chains with the procedure penalty, be 2nd and 15.
And that's something they didn't do a whole lot of in the first half, which certainly benefited them. Here's the snap. Akaka hands off. No, he doesn't hand off. And the fake, let's just say the defense wasn't faked out because he goes down for a big loss in the backfield.
Yeah, and a lot of white jerseys playing on the Chabot side of the line of scrimmage on that play. But it's like in talking to Coach Cogno before the game, the bear gets you, you get the bear. So they're going to get you for some losses, but then you're going to come right back and make some plays.
3rd and 16. Akaka keeps it himself. He's got some running room, and he's going to pick up the first down all the way out towards midfield across the 45-yard line before being chased out of bounds. And Akaka getting it done with his legs once again.
Okay, so the bear got us on the loss, and then Akaka comes back, and they bite the bear, and they get the gain, and they move the chains. So 3rd and long, your defense does a good job, but then you can't give up the quarterback rush with his back against his goal line for a first down.
1st and 10 from the 42-yard line for Chabot. DVC showing pressure on defense. Now Akaka will look to the sideline. Still 8 seconds on the play clock here.
And there's not a defender 5 yards off the football.
And we had a whole heap of movement up front. That's going to be a false start. Back Chabot up 5 yards. So early on here in the second half, a couple of procedure penalties on the Gladiators.
And they were going to go deep there. They were going to take a shot. You could see the way that the wide receivers were releasing off the line of scrimmage. It wasn't I'm going to go out and block my guy release. It's like I got a chance to make a play release and sprinting up the field. So, and you can see in the folks that are watching that a lot of white jerseys within 5 yards of the football.
1st and 15, pistol formation, handoff to Vaymau, and he's swallowed just across the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1. But a nice job by the front seven that time from the from the Vikings defense. It'll be second and long.
And we had talked about the success of them, Chabot being on third down. Well, they haven't done well on this drive on first and second down, but third down they've done a great job in converting. So now here's another third and long.
As Vaymau gets about 2 or 3 more on that play. Now let's see if DVC can get a stop here on third and long, because last time they allowed Akaka to pick it up with his legs on the big gain. So this will be about 3rd and 11, maybe 12.
And when you're on defense here, you got to take some chances. And here you might want to dial up one of those blitzes that you might have put in during the bye week.
Let's see if Akaka can work some more magic on 3rd and 11. Fakes the handoff, throws over the middle, incomplete. And a big stop for DVC as the punting unit will come out for Chabot.
Good coverage that time by DVC. I believe Ramirez was in the passing lane, and it looked like some type of option route, and looked like the out-cutting route might have been more open than inside, maybe a little bit of miscommunication. But I'll credit DVC for getting the stop on the first possession of the half.
Better snap this time on the punt as Nisbet gets it away. Good kick, fielded at the 18-yard line. And a return of about 8 up to the 26-yard line from Larks. So that's where DVC will go to work on offense for the first time in the second half, trying to find a way back in this game. It's been all Chabot, 28-0, with 11:32 to go in the third quarter.
And, they're averaging less than 3 yards a play, and you time to up those, and then they've got both of their backs in the backfield, 2 backs in the backfield, and see what the Vikings have in store and what they talked about and what adjustments they made at halftime.
Hoyer out of the gun. He'll throw behind the line of scrimmage. So technically it's a running play for Jackson. He gets up close to the 35-yard line, and looks like we've got a flag down on the play.
And any time you're out in space, the eyes get much bigger of the officials, and most of the time it's a receiver trying to make a block, but it ends up being a hold or a block in the back, and that's what it was.
And it looks like a block in the back in this case. So that'll put him behind the chains for DVC. It'll be first and very long.
And that's tough because it's a long developing play. It's a swing pass, but there's also a point where you've got to stay between the ball carrier or the receiver, whomever he may be, and occupy the defensive player. But then once you get into his jersey and he moves one way or the other, and that could be the receiver cutting in or cutting out, the jersey gets pulled, the flag gets thrown.
Well, the good news for DVC is it ends up only being 1st and 11 because the foul took place a little bit downfield. So 1st and 11 as Hoyer takes the snap. He'll throw underneath as Alexander makes the catch up across the 30, out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
And Hoyer had plenty of time to throw the football.
So it'll be a gain of about 6 on the play. 2nd and 5 for the Vikings.
But they have yet, and we said one of the keys coming into the game was some chunk yardage plays with the passing game. It's great to get the 5 or 6 yard completions, but if you want to get back in this game, the 20, 25-yard lightning plays need to happen sooner than later.
Hoyer hands off now to Jackson. He's up close to the 35-yard line, about a yard short of the first down marker. So it should be 3rd and 1 here as DVC tries to move the chains.
And also, it's not an excuse of the fact, but there's some guys that should be playing on that offensive line that played. One that played for us over at Monte Vista, Corey Luciani, is a commit to Washington. He hurt his knee up at camp at Washington, so he's out for the season. He's one of the best linemen that's played at this school in a long time. So to have him out, a guy that can play any of the positions, and some other guys that should be out there as well. And so not having your whole personnel.
And that should get the first down. Nice run for Jackson up to the 40-yard line.
We got a penalty.
And that will hurt if it's against DVC. It really isn't just the number of penalties for the Vikings, but it's been the costly penalties to either give Chabot first downs when they're on offense or to take away a first down in this case, which it looks like it will. And
when that flag is thrown there, a lot of times it's either the blocker along the edge of the line of scrimmage, the offensive tackle, or it's one of the wide receivers. But the penalties, they're adding up. That's number 11 now for DVC. And it prevents you from just getting any tempo going offensively when you make a successful play. And they've had 3 or 4 just in this drive alone. But when the flag goes on the field, then you're playing behind the chains. Again, those are the things that just break your confidence. 3rd and 13 now. Hoyer out of the gun. And they're showing blitz. They'll rush 4. Hoyer rolling right, throws deep, has a man open, underthrown a little bit. Did he make the catch? He did. Justin Ross came back and got it all the way into Chabot territory at the 42-yard line. His 16th reception of the season. He's got a good average. There's a chunk play. No flags on the field. And a got behind the defense. Yeah, a gain of 35. That's a serious chunk and much needed, as you said. And that's not like Wells to give up that type of play. So now first down. They'll fake the handoff. Hoyer swings it out left. More running room, but a flag down, and another this might penalty. Be coming back. Zane Cribb catches the bubble screen. He has room out in front, but then the flag's on the field, and you know that's going to go against the offense. So that will be penalty number 12 most likely on DVC. We do have a offensive lineman down. A Viking down. Looks like he's going to get up with a little help, which is good to see. Let's see if that's Christopher Strotter. Yeah, Christopher Strotter. Yep, and he is up on his feet. That's a big fellow, too. 6'6", 409 is what he's listed at. Yeah, and I'm a big fellow. I don't want to stand next to him in the family photo so I look reasonable because I'm completely out of shape. But he's playing hard, and again, just weird penalties. They lost. I mean, they didn't technically lose in the yards, but they had a 25-yard gain to that. Now again, they're going to replay first down. Right, as you say, they don't lose yards because it's 1st and 10, but it wipes out a big chunk play, and so we'll see if they can do it over again. And psychologically, I mean, we're our own worst enemy, and I don't need to get into Freudian talks here, but then you just can continue to get frustrated. And mentioned Freud in a broadcast. Yeah, we're more than just football here. We're going to give you your Freud as well as they swing it to the right side. And a gain of about 4 for Cribb before he's stopped. Maybe 5 on the play. So it'll bring up 2nd and 5. Cribb has been involved a little bit in the offense tonight, both running and receiving. And that's showing the confidence of the coaches that he's learning the offense. He is a good player. He did go to Sac State, ended up coming back home, and went over to DVC. So he's just learning things, but getting a number of touches, that's building trust with the coaching staff. But they had 12 in the huddle there, but I don't see a call. Might have got away with that one. 2nd and 5 for the Vikings. Handoff goes to Alexander. He picks his way across the 35-yard line, close to a first down, maybe a yard short at the 34. So we're seeing DVC on this drive. They're stretching the width of the football field. So they're throwing in any number of bubble screens, and on that play, they fake the swing screen and then they run inside. So they're getting opportunities by using the whole entire football field. It'll be 3rd and 1 for the Vikings. They got to get it to the 33-yard line of Chabot. They'll go from the pistol. Hoyer with Jackson behind him. 5 on the play clock as they snap, and the pitch goes to Jackson. He's running left, tries to get the line. He does. Nice run. Cut inside the 30 and inside the 25 for a first down. He had to beat the edge defender around the corner. And Jackson did that with his speed, and looks like the coaches made a decision at halftime. let's get the ball to our running backs. Let's let them use their ability and slow things down a little bit and give our defense a chance.
And it's been working so far on this drive. They're at least possessing the ball a bit as we're down now to 6:04 to go in the third quarter.
And they've had the ball over 5 minutes, but it's a double-edged sword if you don't score a touchdown.
Hoyer with a quick slant, diving attempt. That's going to be incomplete.
And that's a tough catch on a slant. Slant's got to be delivered right into the numbers. And when you have to extend or the ball's behind you, it makes it real tough to catch that ball in traffic.
Intended for Sahagan on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10. 4 wide receivers for the Vikings. From the pistol, Hoyer waiting for the snap, man in motion. Hoyer looking to pass again. Has time, throws left, diving attempt, but I believe it will be incomplete. And it looked like Hoyer had him, just missed his receiver that time.
I mean, it's a well-designed play. I mean, very simple, little down and out, but just the spacing and the timing just wasn't in sync there. So you've got a 2nd and long, and you'll see DVC going into their nickel defense and maybe their 3-man front and get a chance to send an additional edge blitzer like they have. So you see the 3-man front, the 3 down linemen there, and then a single high safety, and the rest of the guys are in man coverage.
They get the snap off in time.
Hoyer
steps up, has a man underneath, and he gets it to Alexander down the sideline and in for the touchdown. Rayshawn Alexander gets the Vikings on the board. A 23-yard touchdown reception from Hoyer.
Well, there's the result of having man coverage, and Chabot did a good job, but they didn't cover the back out of the backfield. And we've got a player down for Chabot. So everybody's in coverage, but you have to account for the running backs of DVC and slipped out of the backfield, and credit Hoyer for keeping his eyes downfield and hitting the check down to the running back. Easier said than done, because your quarterback, you want to take a shot, get into the end zone. You're not always apt to dump that football, but you got to take advantage of the coverage.
And it looks like maybe Dario Wells.
And he's holding a shoulder.
Can't tell if that's a 6 or an 8. So it is Wells. And we certainly hope he's all right, but as you say, kind of holding that shoulder as he comes off to the sideline. It is 28-6 after the touchdown. Extra point coming up here for Diablo Valley. And an impressive drive from both running backs, Jackson and Alexander, doing it out of the backfield. Kick is up and good. And so with 5:38 to go in the third quarter, the lead for Chabot down to 21. It's 28-7 as we take another look here at the touchdown.
So they're in man coverage, and then the back slipping out of the backfield. No one's accounting for him. And well, the linebacker that did sunk into the middle zone, and he's got man coverage. And nice job by Diablo Valley to get on the scoreboard. Nearly a 5-minute drive, or actually nearly a 6-minute drive. 5:54 on the drive, scoring drive for the Vikings. So you look at it. they miss the opportunity at the end of the half. You get a field goal, it's 28-10. You're down a couple, 3 scores, but you're in a lot better situation.
Kick will be fielded by DeJuan Johnson, and he's hit before he reaches the 20-yard line, maybe out to the 19, and that's where Chabot will go back to work.
And Joe Fobbs, nice tackle on special teams there in space to make the play.
So we'll see what Chabot can do here and what they dial up on offense after scoring touchdowns their first 4 drives. They were unable to their last 2 times out, as DVC has certainly done a better job against the run. I think they've loaded up the box a little bit, trying to force Akaka to beat him with his arm.
At some point, Danny Calcagno's going to take a shot here.
From the pistol, Akaka will keep it himself, pushes the pile forward for a few yards across the 20, and we'll say a gain of 2 or 3 on the play.
And 2, some of Chabot's best teams offensively. You see games when a team will get in a score like this, and then they'll just go into ground and just ground you into the turf and score and just take all of your momentum away versus you got to take a shot and go deep. It's still an option, but you can see everybody's within 4 yards of the line of scrimmage for DVC.
Akaka back to pass. They will take a shot this time, looking to the left side for Tanner Wright, but it's too tall. And 3rd down coming up.
It's a second or third time they've tried to go deep there, but the corner's doing a good job in coverage and using the sideline, and we've said it, Najee Rushing, freshman, just doing a good job of using the sideline as an extra defender and not allowing that wide receiver to get position on him.
So let's see if DVC can get a stop here. 3rd and 7. If they could just get the ball right back to their offense, maybe build a little momentum after scoring their first touchdown of the night.
And Chabot was 2 of 3 in the first half on 3rd down.
Akaka looking to pass again. Now the pocket breaks down, rolls left, throws. It's caught, but was it in bounds? No, they're going to say out of bounds, incomplete. A great effort by Johnson, but it'll be 4th down.
I don't even know how he grabbed that ball, more or less even attempted to get a foot down. But good defense once again by DVC, and that's 2 stops in a row. And then you got the turnover and before the half. So those are some good things, and you're seeing the defense making some adjustments and then working, which always builds the players' confidence in the coaches and in the game planning.
Josh Ramirez standing back at his own 46 to field this punt. Now has to go back about 10 yards. Fields it at the 36 with a little bit of room. Across the 50.
That's a block in the back. I mean, I don't know if
throw the flag or not.
I mean, that wasn't even close.
And there will be no flag on the play. So a big return down to the 44-yard line of Chabot, and DVC is going to have good field position once again.
Now, that return had it set up. Then right at the end of the play, guy from DVC comes right into blocking the Chabot defender right in the back. Wasn't called. We'll move on. But you're in great field position here. 44-yard line of your opponents, and still got a lot of time left in the 3rd quarter.
So a 20-yard return for Ramirez. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line of Chabot. Handoff goes up the middle to Alexander, and he finds a nice seam, but a late flag comes in, and this one might be coming back. It certainly, from the body language, looks like it might be a hold or something going against the offense. And, boy, DVC just really shooting themselves in the foot tonight with penalties.
In the last 2 drives, they've had at least 3, maybe 4 plays that have got first downs that have been brought back due to penalties.
So they will move this one back, spotted at the 49-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 17 for the Vikings. Four wide receivers, shotgun formation. Hoyer calling out directions. He'll fake the handoff. Now steps up in the pocket, throws underneath, but incomplete.
Now, after he faked the ball to Cribb, the defense didn't account for him. So he was open over here in the flat, but Hoyer chose to throw it to his left. But their offensive line is doing a good job. He's getting a lot of time to throw the football.
So it'll be 2nd and 17 from their own 49-yard line. They've got to get it down to the 34 of Chabot.
3-man front, 2 guys down on the ground, and then you got a standing defensive end, and he's going to come off the edge.
And this time they will hand off to Alexander, but not a whole lot of room. He gets across the 50 for a gain of maybe 2 to the 49 of Chabot, which will bring up 3rd and 15.
Ernesto Ponce did a good job defensively. So the draw is tough to defend when you only have a 3-man front, but you also read the hands of the offensive lineman, and Ponce was able to identify the draw and made a nice tackle.
3rd and 15 for the Vikings. Hoyer has time once again over the middle and dropped at the 35-yard line. Probably would have been a first down.
But he was trying to do something with the football besides catch it first. Justin Ross does a nice job of sitting in the zone. He catches the ball and falls over. It's a first down. But trying to run with the football, and probably the 3rd or 4th drop tonight for DVC.
And that one hurts because now you've got a punt. And we'll have a whistle before the snap and a timeout taken by Chabot. That's their first timeout of the half. So we'll go ahead and take the timeout with them. You're watching Chabot College football on NorCal Sports TV.
Parma Deli in Concord is the place to go for a great custom-made sandwich. Check out their great reviews on Yelp and Facebook. Parma Deli just celebrated its 30th anniversary. Parma Deli caters for all occasions, graduations, office meetings, weddings, funerals, and parties for any kind. Please give them a call. Our crew love the great sandwiches tonight. Mary and her boys always take care of us. So when planning your perfect day, look no further than Parma Deli. Food lovers beware. You're in for a tasty surprise.
Welcome back to Gladiator Stadium. Ben Ross and Chris Babcock with you tonight. DVC punting. A fair catch is going to be called at the 10-yard line, and Johnson falls back, but most importantly hangs on, and it will be Chabot ball.
That is an example of catching the football with your eyes. And something I just wanted to recognize one of our partners tonight, Parma Deli. They're always so good to us. They got a business recognition award from the City Council of Concord for their contributions to the city and always be involved. And anytime we're doing any DVC games or local games, Parma Deli is always there, and appreciate their support of NorCal Sports TV.
Appreciate it. All right, 1st and 10 for the Gladiators of Chabot. And a handoff to Veimau up the middle, battling for yards, keeps the legs churning, but he won't get a ton, maybe 2 on the play out to the 14-yard line. DVC has done a much better job since really the first quarter against the run.
Most certainly, in that's a good thing, because when you're going to playing in the Bay 6 and you're going to match up teams against CSM and Laney and City College, etc., those teams love to run the football.
2nd and 7 officially. They hand off to the man in motion. And Johnson maybe gets a couple more, but it'll bring up a 3rd down.
And a good play by Titus Sullivan. He didn't make the tackle in space for DVC, but he took out the blocker so his friends could rally up and make the play. That's team defense, and you're building those stops. And I'm sure that Chabot's getting a little frustrated.
It'll be 3rd and 5 from the 16-yard line. Akaka will take the snap and roll right. Throws on the run, and it's caught, but out of bounds. So incomplete. And another 3 and out forced by this DVC defense. They'll get the ball right back.
So Ofer in the second half on third down.
Yeah, after starting this game with 4 consecutive touchdown drives, Chabot has kind of slowed down here on offense. And again, credit to DVC defensively doing a really good job stopping the run.
That's a returnable kick.
Yeah, low line drive fielded by Ramirez. He's got room around the 40 down to the 35-30. Takes a big hit, but inside the 30-yard line. And it'll be excellent starting field position here for the Vikings.
And no flags on the field, so you're going to start the drive off on your opponent's 29-yard line.
Still time here. I mean, 1:26 to go in the third quarter. If you can punch this into the end zone, you're within 2 scores.
More certainly. And then I'm going to let Jackson and Alexander touch the football a couple of times on this drive.
So they'll start out in the pistol, 4 wide receivers, as Hoyer prepares to take the snap. He'll pitch it to Alexander, and Alexander gets a few yards before getting knocked. Well, they'll say inbound still. Clock keeps moving, a gain of 2 or 3 on the play.
And it looked like a more promising play, but credit Chabot playing, we say this a lot, playing along the line of scrimmage. Because if you get upfield, it's...
And we have a flag down. This one going to go against the defense. So that's against Chabot here. And I'm not sure what they're calling, but they'll mark it off. So for Chabot, not a ton of penalties tonight. It's been DVC that's really been drawing most of the flags, but this will certainly benefit the Vikings.
But what I was saying is playing along, you're stretching out that play, and the running back turned the corner, but he met a wall of Chabot defenders.
So now they'll mark it off. Looks like they'll spot it at the 21-yard line.
The only thinking was 12 men on the field.
Could be. But it brings up a second and short now. Second and about 1 or 2. They'll go from the pistol. Hoyer fakes the handoff. Now in trouble, and down he goes.
Sack.
Big sack for Chabot.
I'm going to let you try that one. It's number 90.
Well, they told me, Coach Fanena told me just call him Hal. Hal Moala.
Hey, well, Howe got a sack. Nice penetration, clearing the offensive lineman's hands, and Hoyer had no chance on that play. That's a big play. The defense stepping up there in a critical situation. 3rd and 10.
4 wide receivers, 3 to the right, and we're going to get a whistle. And I think they had to burn end of the third quarter. So after 3, Chabot leads 28-7 over DVC. You're watching Chabot College football on NorCal Sports TV.
Meeting Rooms on Demand, a unique alternative to hotel conference rooms. With rates as low as $50 an hour and seating capacity up to 50, we provide unprecedented value for small businesses. Locations in the Bay Area, Fresno, and Las Vegas, and coming soon to Phoenix. Reach us at meetingroomsondemand.com and tell them you saw this ad on NorCal Sports TV for a 50% discount off your first rental. Great rates and value. Meeting Rooms on Demand.
Welcome back to Gladiator Stadium. We're set for the fourth quarter between Chabot and Diablo Valley. Ben Ross alongside Chris Babcock. Hope you're enjoying us tonight here on NorCal Sports TV. Been an interesting game. Chabot jumping out to the early 28-0 lead, but give DVC credit. They've battled back with a touchdown, and now they have the ball in Gladiator territory to open this fourth quarter. A big play here on 3rd and 10 coming up.
And the last time they were in this nickel coverage, they took advantage and hit the back out of the backfield for a touchdown. So that's definitely an option. And also a draw. I mean, you're in 4-down territory. You're down 3 scores, so you're in the fourth quarter, so those kind of decisions are easily made.
Hoyer will pass. He rolls right, throws for the end zone, but too far for everybody. And it will be 4th down. And, Coach, I think now it's, even though it's 4th and long, I think at this part of the field, you probably have to go for it.
And it's hard to tell who that throw was attended to because there was 2 DVC receivers down there, and both were well covered. But the pass rush, not sending a lot of guys, but being effective, and they're rushing outside in. So Hoyer couldn't get along the edge to get a better, more option look or be able to run the football. So the 3-man front is being effective, and so then you've got 8 guys in coverage. Do the math. The chances aren't very easy to succeed.
Here we go on 4th and 10. Hoyer in trouble, spins back to the left, buys himself some time. He's going to throw it towards the end zone, and it's incomplete. Almost intercepted. Probably better for Chabot that it wasn't intercepted because they turn it over on downs anyway. So Chabot's defense holds. They'll get the ball back at their own 29.
And that's a successful stop by Chabot, but not a lot of celebrating because those guys are tired. They have spent
They've been out there
a lot of the time of the second half. So I'm sure the offense is feeling the pressure of we need to put together some first downs, and they haven't had any, if any, here in the second half.
That was Najee rushing on the coverage there defensively, the freshman out of Skyline High School in Oakland. Akaka takes the snap on 1st and 10. He'll hand it off. And Veimau runs into a wall of Vikings defenders. His forward progress was stopped, I think, maybe able to get back to the line of scrimmage. But again, DVC really focusing on stopping the run.
And we don't have the official statistics, but I don't believe Chabot's got a first down in the third and got in the first down in the second half.
That's right, and they had 16 in the first half. So it's been really a different story here. Another run for Veimau up the middle. He gets a little more this time as he gets it out to the 35-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 4.
And, having Ozine out, he's a, threat, one of the top receivers in the state production-wise. So having one less threat also, enables that defense to put more guys in the box, and they play right along the line of scrimmage. And the first half, they broke through, that being Chabot, but not in the second quarter or the third quarter, and here just the start of the fourth.
3rd and 4, as that play clock now running down to 1 second. They just get the snap off. Akaka under pressure, spins out of it. How did he stay on his feet? Now he throws it downfield, but it's incomplete. That was a great effort by Akaka. I don't know how he avoided the sack there. He's a magician.
Yeah, magician with a lot of athleticism, but another 3rd down stop by DVC. And we had mentioned early in the game about the success this season that Chabot has had on 3rd down, and they were 2 of 3 in the first half, but they're 0 for in the second half. So DVC's defense has got to feel very good about how they've played and have kept their team in the game. Offensively, they just have had successful plays, but then penalties, and as we mentioned, it's a disco with a ballroom music being played. They just haven't got any tempo.
Yep. All right, here's the punt from Nisbet. Low line drive. Ramirez will field it at his own 27. Makes the first couple men miss. He's got a seam right up the middle into Chabot territory and down inside the 40-yard line. And I think it was the punter Nisbet who eventually brought him down, but a great return for Ramirez.
Shot out of a cannon. Made one move and then went straight up the hash mark. And I wonder if he might not be a guy, if you're struggling offensively, maybe not now because he hasn't played offense, but we have a penalty, a low block.
Yeah, it looks like they're calling a chop block here, and It'll come back a little bit. It'll be interesting to see where the penalty occurred. But no, you're right. I mean, with Ramirez, boy, he really showed some speed there. Maybe that's an option at some point this season.
Most certainly.
Certainly an explosive talent just based on the speed there. So they're going to back this thing up to the 39-yard line of DVC. And once again, penalties costing the Vikings.
And we don't know. We always know, well, you watch him and it'll drop an interception. You go, oh, that's why he's a defensive back.
Right.
You know, so maybe that's the case. But he's caught the punt, and you like a fearless player returning punts and just shot out of a cannon. They got great field position. Now they have good field position, but they've had good field position pretty much the entire second half and the end of the second quarter, and have only put 7 points on the board.
Yep, have to cash in a little bit better. So 4 wide receivers here on first down. Hoyer out of the gun. And we're going to go a reverse here. Jackson trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. He does, makes a couple men miss, and takes a big hit but bounces right back up. Did a whole lot of running there. Ends up gaining about 5 or 6 yards on the play.
What Coach Wooden say, do not mistake activity for achievement. So a lot of guys touching the football, a little razzle-dazzle will get you 6 yards. Now, if you can throw that, we'll cue up the little circus music. But I think we're a long ways away from that.
5 wide receivers on 2nd and 4. Hoyer takes the snap out of the gun, looks right, throws right, and has a first down across the 50-yard line. Roman Sahagan making the catch.
Little down and out route and running the out route to the chains, and probably their best timed route of the game.
So it'll be a first down at the 46-yard line of Chabot. We're now down to 12 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Chabot leads 28-7. 5 wide receivers again for Hoyer. And they'll swing it out to the left side for Zane Cribb. Makes the first man miss, gets down to the 40, and he'll be taken down there, but a nice gain of about 6 or 7 on first down.
So the thing I've noticed about Hoyer, when he throws on time, he's fairly effective. But anytime he is trying to be extemporaneous, non-scriptive, it's like the one big word I've learned in my life, then he's not as successful out of the pocket than he is in the pocket.
Man, my vocabulary is just getting so much better doing this game with you tonight. Got to do more broadcasts together.
I like it.
All right, 2nd and 4 for Hoyer. He's passing, throws underneath, and Alexander kind of shies away from that one. I think he knew he was about to get blown up if he makes that catch.
Yeah, he felt made a business decision there.
Can't blame him there.
No.
So it'll be 3rd and 4 with 11:08 to go in the fourth quarter. And once again, most likely 4-down territory for DVC. Well, they really have controlled the ball, not just this second half, but, I mean, that's one thing about Chabot. Even when they score, they do it quickly. So time of possession has certainly been controlled pretty heavily tonight by the Vikings. They'll go from the pistol on 3rd down.
They got a penalty. The right tackle moved early, surely.
So that makes it a little bit tougher now, 3rd and 9. And, again, the penalty is adding up for DVC tonight.
And so now if you're a pass rusher for Chabot, your tendency is to tape those ears back and get up the field. And DVC has not shown much of a screen game tonight. Yeah, they've thrown the bubble screens and those sorts of plays, but haven't seen anything like a middle screen that has been set up and has worked. So, and credit Chabot, they have a well-disciplined defensive line. You have as a defensive lineman, you have to feel that the lack of pass blocking and read the screen.
Hoyer back to pass on 3rd and 9, throws to the right side, and it's incomplete. Would have been well short of the first down anyway. So now 4th down coming up, and you got to think, well, hold on, we might have a flag down. Let's take a look and see which way this is going to go. Looks like it'll be on DVC. I think they're asking Chabot if they want to decline the call.
Robert Battis came in, one of the defensive linemen that rotates, got good pressure that time, and made Hoyer get off his spot. And a lot of bodies flying around it, and you see those gold jerseys flashing in front of your eyes. It has a way of affecting the way you throw and release the football. So it's 4th down and 9.
Yeah, they did decline the penalty, and DVC will go for it here. They've got to get to the 36-yard line. 4 wide receivers. Hoyer has time, runs out of it, and he is taken down for a sack. That's Jeremiah Famer, the freshman out of San Leandro, and it'll go back over to Chabot on downs.
Now, Hoyer felt the rush, but there was no need for him to scramble. But so often that they've got pressure on him, there really wasn't pressure. The offensive line did a very good job, but his clock went off and had the sense that the rush was coming. It wasn't.
It almost looked like he sort of ran.
Yeah,
into
he
the
scrambled
rush a
into
little bit.
he scrambled into a sack.
So Chabot's defense does come up with a stop, and now excellent field position. Akaka fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, tumbles down to about the 43-yard line, just a yard shy of a first down. And we'll see if the Gladiators can get the offense going once again on this drive and get back into the end zone. That would pretty much put this one away with 10.5 to play.
And Akaka doesn't dance around. He got right up the field and got a nice 8-yard gain on first down.
Well, you look at the score 28-7, but, Chris, I mean, you look at some of the missed opportunities, too, for DVC. They've had the ball deep in Chabot territory and unable to come away with points on 3 separate occasions. There's your 3 possessions right there, and could be looking at a whole different ball game. Veimau will pick up the first down with a nice run to about the 36-yard line.
And talking to defensive coordinator Jerome Manos early in the week, he said, we got to stop the big play running backs that they have. They both broke off long runs. They just haven't given up the big play today. I mean, the one was in the red zone. It was a chunk play. But other than that, there's been a lot of 6 and 7, 8, 9-yard gains they've given up. But they haven't given up the chunk plays, and that's why the 28-7 score. They've bent, but they haven't broke.
Exactly. Bend but don't break. Well, Chabot, coming into this game, they only allow 14 points per game, so the defense has done a nice job this year, and again, tonight only giving up the 7. Play clock running down, and a timeout taken by Chabot. We'll go ahead and take it with them. You're watching Chabot College Football on NorCal Sports TV.
Do you need an aggressive and persuasive criminal defense attorney in Contra Costa, Solano, or Napa County? Contact Vincent R. Maher, attorney at law. You can benefit from the dedicated advocacy of an attorney who is one of the rare criminal trial lawyers in the state to be a specialist certified by the California State Bar. Contact him at 707-427-2800. 707-427-2800. Vincent R. Maher at the Maher Law Group, a professional corporation.
So scores of the other Bay 6 games, Laney beat City College of San Francisco 42-21. College of San Mateo beat Santa Rosa JC 41-9. Top rated, in Northern California, Butte College beat Feather River 42-14.
And here it's 28-7 Chabot on a big run for Veimau. He's going to the house, untouched for his 3rd touchdown of the night.
So their best drive of the second half culminates with another long touchdown run, and that'll make the coaches happy that they've got a second half score. And sticking with that inside run, and Vaimu just right up the middle. And after the play, we'll get a chance to look at that inside run and the offensive line doing a great job on that drive.
extra point is up and good to make it 35-7. And, yeah, for Weymouth, looking like one of his earlier touchdowns tonight, just up the middle. The seam opens up completely, and then he shows off the speed. You're not going to catch him. So 3 touchdown runs tonight for Panove Weymouth.
And I think you're going to see body on body, and then the hole opens up, and then the Red Sea parts. Yes, most certainly.
So that's a 36-yard touchdown scamper, and that's going to make it awfully tough for DVC now. 35-7, a 4-touchdown lead for Chabot.
So when you have no safety, deep safety, and your offensive line is able to block the first level of defenders and then the second, well, there's no third level defender.
That's right, no one back there.
You're off to the races. So there's, the whole DVC has done such a good job defensively in the second half, but hey, Chabot's capable of scoring, and they just proved it.
Matthew Larks takes the kickoff at his own 1-yard line, comes up a little short of the 20. And so DVC will take over at about the 19-yard line with 9:06 to play.
Now, after this game is over and you want to continue with your NorCal Sports TV on our website or on our YouTube channel, you've got Modesto JC at College of Sequoia. So we've got a lot of action going on. We had lacrosse going on today. We had a couple of football games last night. We've got more things on the schedule. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/NorCal Sports TV, or follow us on social media at NorCal Sports TV. Won't cost you anything. You don't need a fee. You don't need a login. Just subscribe to our page and get get those notices.
Yeah, lots of great local content. You got high school, you got junior college, you've got pro, a little bit of everything.
And Brock Swanson out of Napa High School in at quarterback for DVC.
So a quarterback change for the Vikings. Swanson 6'1", 194 out of Napa, as you said. He's a freshman, and he'll get an opportunity to lead the offense on this drive. This is his first action as a member of DVC at quarterback. 5 wide receivers. Swanson steps up, runs left, and he'll be stopped around the 25-yard line. Picks up a few on the play. It'll be 3rd down.
Ethan Owens in on another tackle.
He's been all over the field tonight, hasn't he?
Most certainly. Very athletic player and did a nice job.
Well, as you said earlier, Chris, a nice job by Chabot's defense tonight. They've bent a few times, but they have not broken, only giving up the 1 score. And when they've had to hunker down, they've gotten stops.
Empty backfield for DVC. So it's either a draw or he's got to get rid of it quick because he's going to have guys in his face.
Exactly, and it is a quarterback draw. Swanson up the middle, and he will pick up the 1st down, spins his way across the 30, out to the 32. So a nice little nifty run there for the freshman out of Napa.
And that's more of a play for him than it would be for Hoyer, who's a big fella and not as fleet of foot.
So they'll move the chains. Coming up on 7:20 to go here in the 4th quarter from Gladiator Stadium. Chabot jumped out early to the 28-0 lead. DVC got on the board and got a little momentum going, but Chabot, with their latest touchdown, back up by 28 points at 35-7. Swanson fakes the handoff. He'll run it himself again, and he's got room across the 40. Hit from behind, still goes forward and picks up another 1st down to the 44.
Little pinball action.
Yeah.
You going one way and then ending back the other and finding a soft spot. But the thing, I guess, the biggest concern would be for tonight for Chabot is how Dariel Wells is doing after injury. Now, I've seen him down on the field. I don't see any ice on him or anything like that, so I don't know if he got the wind knocked out of him. It might have been a concussion. But, he's your number 1 corner, so you want to make sure he's healthy and ready to go for next week against Santa Rosa JC.
Yeah, we certainly hope he's all right for the rest of Bay 6 conference season, as that pass was intended for Zane Cribb, incomplete.
And Swanson felt the pressure of the defensive line, didn't really set his feet and didn't have anything on that football and was throwing it all the way across the formation, and throws was always going to be short there.
Chabot off to a really good start this season. If they hang on tonight, they'll be 5-1, and they would improve to 4-0 at home.
Yeah, they've got to be happy that before tonight it was their best record through 5 games since 2010. So,
yep. And a whistle here on the snap, and a false start. Back him up 5 yards. But no, you're right. Eric Fanena has done a terrific job here now in his second season, and he's got this team rolling.
Yeah, last year they had some issues, and they had to bring back Coach Calcagno to help out with the offense, and I think things just are a little bit more solidified. And, they go up to Santa Rosa, who took one on the chin today against College of San Mateo. So, I haven't seen Santa Rosa play, but I think that's a winnable game for Chabot. So, you want to put these wins together, because then you really get into we're not looking past the Bear Cubs, obviously, but then, you also got City College and College of San Mateo and Laney as in your last 3 games.
Yeah, it's a tough league this year. You look at the standings, you got 4 teams that started the year 4-1, as Swanson is gobbled up in the backfield and taken down for a loss. Another sack for the Chabot defense. But Chabot 4-1, Laney, CCSF, and Santa Rosa all were also 4-1 in the non-conference. San Mateo was 3-2. Diablo Valley 2-3 coming into tonight.
And DVC is going to host City College next Friday night over in Pleasant Hill. So the sledding
doesn't get any easier.
No, it does not.
All right, 3rd and 19 for the Vikings. Swanson back to pass. He's going to throw over the middle, and it's tipped, nearly intercepted. A couple of Gladiators had a shot at it. Might have hit the ground anyway, but it's incomplete, and it'll be 4th down. So with 5:05 to go here in the 4th quarter, DVC just going to bring out the punt unit.
And, talking to Coach Calcagno, the offensive coordinator, longtime head coach here, I haven't slept in 2 weeks. Danny exaggerating as any good coach does. But they haven't beat DVC in 4 years. So because of some of the things that they present defensively. So, the getting off to the fast start really helped them tonight, and they've kept with it.
Johnson will call for the fair catch, comes up and smothers it at the 39-yard line, and so that's where Chabot will take over.
Now, I'm going to age myself, Ben, but he would be a heck of a 3 flies up player.
Yeah.
He's
shown that ability tonight.
He's going to catch that ball no matter what. I mean, really looking into his hands. If you don't know what 3 flies up, shame on you, and Google it.
Google it.
Yeah.
Go play outside. Get off your phone.
Exactly. Quit playing Fortnite.
Well, yeah, we've seen him field punts in just about every manner tonight, whether it's falling backwards, whether it's kind of diving forwards.
Yeah.
But you're right. He's done a good job looking it in, and I mean that's what you ask your punt returner to do. He's got to catch it. You don't want to turn it over. And so far tonight, actually, both teams have been very clean with the ball. I don't think we've seen a turnover tonight. Now up the middle,
Devontae Williams new in at quarterback.
Look at him go.
With a nice run up the middle. Yeah, the only turnover was the bad snap on the punt. That's
right.
it.
Other than that, a clean game from that department. Obviously, DVC has made a lot more penalties than they would like to, and that's something they'll want to clean up moving forward. So it's a 1st down. As you mentioned, Devontae Williams in the game at quarterback for Chabot. 6 foot, 190-pound freshman from Sarasota, Florida. Another Florida native on this roster, along with DeJuan Johnson, and I believe there's one other. That might be it. That time, not much doing. Gain of maybe 1 yard on the play.
And this is where, they have the no huddle, but they're not exactly in a hurry. And anytime you can get young quarterbacks into a game, into a contest, you never want your starters to get hurt, but you always want them to get live opportunities. Practice isn't as effective as the games, obviously. So,
of course, right.
It's good to be able to get some guys some snaps.
And a handoff to Osaru Ona. Once again, he's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3rd down.
And we had said some players to watch. We wanted to give the O-line some credit, but Osabin, Pramalis, Brown, Bustos, and Hafoka have done a great job tonight in opening up holes. And sure, they struggled in the 3rd quarter, but when they needed that touchdown drive, they got it, and enables to get a lot of new jerseys in the game. And all these kids are working hard, young adults, and going through school, and so it's a good opportunity to get guys. They get dirty, but they don't get grass stains because they're playing on the turf. But getting guys reps is just so important because it's a long season and guys get hurt, and so when you can get guys experience playing in games, then as a coach, you explain this to players, building. It's one word in football or in coaching: trust.
Yep.
Do I trust to put you in that you're going to do your job? And then for a quarterback, it could be a bad snap. And do you jump on the ball or do you pick it up and run and try to make a play out of it? Well, coaches want you to jump on the ball and protect it.
Yeah.
That little move is better than making a 20-yard play. Sometimes will build more trust. And trying to explain that people that have never played the game, well, we're trying.
We got whistles on the snap. I think a false start will be the call against Chabot. 2:07 to play here in the 4th quarter. Chabot on their way to win number 5 and a victory in the Basics Conference opener.
And they're all in the Bay, so that's good. So every 2 years, the conferences get reorganized. It's like the Billy Bean thing, but it's not every year.
Right. Well, that punt takes a DVC hop back to about the 25-yard line, and one final drive here for the Vikings with 1:43 to play.
And a lot of, we talked about it offensively, but now here defensively, you've got new personnel, and they have their guys are rotating, and you just don't play 11 guys on defense with these no-huddle offenses. You're playing 15 to 20 guys.
Right.
So now all your rotating, your starters are resting. But now you have some new players getting a chance to get some reps at home, which is always good, and get some experience.
First and 10 from the 25. And a lot of running room here for Alexander out towards midfield, just shy of the 50. They'll mark him at the 49. It's a gain of 24 on the play.
Nice play on first down. And if DVC wants to be competitive the rest of the year, they're going to have to improve their passing game. Then that'll help Jackson and Alexander find some more open holes.
Swanson that time handing off to Brendan Johnson, freshman out of American Canyon. And it looks like he picks up maybe 4 yards on the play. Under a minute to go now. So an opportunity for both teams, as you said, Chris, to get some of the other players into the game, get them a look in game action on both sides of the ball.
Most certainly.
And it'll be 2nd and 6 from the 47-yard line of Chabot. Swanson takes the snap, throws left, incomplete, and intended for Thomas Wheelock.
At a Northgate High School.
Up in Walnut Creek.
And the receivers coach, I know for DVC's got to be frustrated because, they haven't made a lot of plays. They've dropped at least 6 passes tonight that are right. Now, that one's not going to be a huge gain. But, again, in offense, it's all about, and we've mentioned it before, is about tempo. And, the game's over, I get it. But early in the game, they had some plays on the sideline where they had some open receivers, and they just couldn't execute it. And now you've got your best offensive lineman is down, and he's going to be taken off the field. And I would surprise he's still out there, but DVC's ravaged with injuries, so they don't have a lot of depth there. So, you've got Vanderland still out there. He's their best offensive lineman, and hopefully he is not seriously hurt. The last thing you do is you want your best offensive lineman hurt with 26 seconds left in the game, right?
Well, Chabot averages 34 points per game. They hit that and one extra one tonight with 35. They only give up 14 points a game. That'll go down a little bit unless they give up a score here. But for now, limiting the Vikings to 7 points. And that might be the final play of the game.
And just real quick, and a good thing for Chabot. Again, you're getting guys in. You're trying to build trust. Everybody on the Chabot side, there was 10 guys around the football on that last play. Those are good coachable moments right there.
So that will indeed be the final play of the night as the clock hits 0. Chabot improves to 5-1 with a 35-7 win over DVC. The Vikings fall to 2-4, and an impressive Base 6 opener tonight for the Gladiators.
Yes, they did. They took care of business, and barring any serious injuries that might have happened, it was a very successful night for Chabot College.
All right, we'll take a quick break and then bring it back. You're watching Chabot College football on NorCal Sports TV.
Chabot College Football on NorCal Sports TV is brought to you in part by Vincent R. Maher at the Maher Law Group, a professional corporation covering Contra Costa, Napa, and Solano counties. Parma Delicatessen in Concord. Food lovers beware, you're in for a tasty surprise. Meeting Rooms on Demand, great value and rates in the Bay Area, Fresno, and Las Vegas, and coming soon to Phoenix. American Asphalt, taking care of business in Northern California for 35 years.
All right, welcome back to Gladiator Stadium. Once again, your final score tonight, Chabot 35, DVC 7. Quickly, we'll go over the touchdowns and the scoring from tonight's game. It started early for Chabot with Chase Akaka, a 52-yard touchdown run on their opening drive to make it 7-0. Panove Veimau with a 2-yard touchdown run later in the first quarter made it 14-0. That was one of 3 touchdowns on the night for Veimau. His second one came on a 50-yard run to make it 21-0 in favor of the Gladiators. And then still before halftime, Chabot made it 28-0 on a pass from Akaka to Munoz, a 2-yard touchdown, and it was 28-0 at the half. Second half, DVC did a much better job. They got on the board in the third quarter. Hoyer with the touchdown pass to Jackson to make it 28-7. Veimau would close out the scoring in the fourth quarter with a 36-yard touchdown run, his third of the night, and it was a 35-7 final for Chabot. So, Coach, as you say, Chabot taking care of business, a good solid win. What are your overall takeaways from this game?
Well, Chabot took care of business, as we had talked about, and they got that early momentum with being very successful running the football. But I think the key stop was when they had the bad snap and DVC recovered, and they got it, and the defense got a stop there.
Right.
Because things could have swung either way at that point.
Yep.
You know, you go in the half, you're 28-7 and all those things. And so, you know, I think that was a big stop right there. And consistently tonight, DVC had good field position and Chabot bent, but they didn't break. So a nice win for the Gladiators.
All right, well, thanks for joining us tonight. Again, from Gladiator Stadium, where Chabot beat DVC 35-7 to move their record to 5-1. Our next Chabot game on NorCal Sports TV will be Saturday, November 3rd at 6 p.m. when the Gladiators play host to the College of San Mateo. You've been watching NorCal Sports TV. We want to thank our entire crew, Joseph Yanez, Antonio Aguilar, Chris Babcock, and our director, Jason Green. I'm Ben Ross here in Hayward. Thanks again and good night. Hope you enjoyed Chabot football on NorCal Sports TV.